Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to our special event for celebrating the winners of the International Chocolate Awards America's 2025 competitions for US and Canada and Latin America. So welcome Maricel Presilla. Pleasure to have you here. Maricel, if you'd just like to say a few words and introduce what we're all about here.
Good afternoon or good evening, Martin. It's really extraordinary, to feel that finally, we are here celebrating the winners of this competition because, as you know, we started way back at the very beginning of April, receiving samples, and it's been sort of a marathon because this year we had a vast number of samples sent by people from all over the Americas, both the US, Canada, and then the Caribbean and all of Latin America. So it's been a hard experience actually, because we had such incredible chocolate. So to choose, the best among so many deserving entrants, I think for me is the most difficult part of the whole experience. But I'm pleased that this year we're celebrating diversity, we're celebrating quality, we're celebrating the small craft makers who are doing just as well as the large companies, the companies that have done very well in the awards in the past. So I think it's an even field. And themes come through very clearly, creativity, experimentation, people in the US and Canada finally using different theobromas in chocolates.
Yes.
And to me, that's extraordinary because for the longest time, that was the domain of the Latin Americans. And now we have companies doing beautiful things. We found them in the United States, in Canada, doing great things. And I have to point out something that I think is important for people to understand, because we do have two competitions side by side, but they are judged together. And this is something that people need to understand on the basis of equality. And then, we separate them at price time according to, a global score. But the thing is that I don't want people to think that we're doing this as a linguistic, essentially conceit, because, obviously the United States and Canada are English-speaking countries, and the rest of the countries speak Spanish and maybe, some English too and other languages. No, it's
Portuguese.
It's geographic, essentially, just to make sense of a very large region. Because there are Spanish-speaking people living in the United States and Canada and thriving. And we have two cases, for example. Well, we have more than that, but two main companies in the US and Canadian competition that won big. I'm talking about Cacao from the Dominican Republic. They have they have factories and shops here in the United States. And, we have Cantu in Canada, Elfi Maldonado, it's Peruvian.
No, exactly. So we're going to get into all the winners, and we've got just so everyone understands the approach of this, because we already announced the America's results a few weeks back, because we didn't want people to wait into September. So we're making this kind of special event. This is more a celebration. It's a chat, a discussion, a view. We've got some great clips from some of the winners. We've got some interviews with some of the winners, which we actually got too many and too much to show in this session. So we'll be putting those extended versions of those online on the YouTube channel, and also we'll stream this out on Facebook as well, I think, a bit later. So we've got a lot lined up.
I think that maybe, I think it would be important also to mention some of the themes that we have found throughout, the creativity, the resurgence of Latin America, as a main player, not just as a bean supplier for European and North American markets. The search for special ingredients too. Just about everyone has done that, because I'm thinking about Eldora in Albuquerque, Ambers in Arizona, looking at this beautiful legacy that has to do with Mexico. It has to do with very old traditions, using corn with chocolate, or the bizcochito from Eldora with New Mexican green chiles. And that theme is something that resonates throughout Latin America. We have something amazing like Flor de Manita. I've never heard of it. I never tasted it until we tasted the crude chocolate that is unroasted. But they add the Flor de Manita, which is a fantastic, ingredient, a medicinal ingredient used by the Maya in the fermenting mass. So it's a flavor explosion there. I've never tasted it before. But then we have the pasilla chile in beans.
No,
we'll get to that at one point.
Yeah, and it's always part of it's part of the joy of this is new discoveries and people coming up with things we've never heard of, but very important to be open to these and open to the cultural significance, and just fundamentally, is it a good recipe? Does it taste good? I think are really important things. So what we're going to do is Maricel and I are going to kind of walk through the winners list. We will show that, but we're not going to try and read it all in this session. But we're going to.
But I have to say that this is a completely new format for me. But in a way, I am glad that we can kind of talk about the themes
we can spend a bit more time,
identified in the competitions.
No, exactly. So we're going to walk through the results, and we've got some video clips that some of the winners have sent in, and we'll stop and do some interviews and things as we go along. So we'll see how this goes. I'm being DJ here, so I'm going to switch things around. So first we're going to present the Americas, US and Canada results first, and then we'll move on to Latin America. And starting off, as is our tradition, as we would do in a ceremony, we'll kind of start with spreads and bonbons and work our way up to the plain origin bars in each competition. So in America's, looking at the beginning of the results, so we had a few good spreads, some interesting coupe-au-jus coming in there. But we only had the one spread entry, but that was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting because they're using coupe-au-jus and it's a first.
And I think, Maricel, we should talk about the Forte chocolate's orange confit, which was such a classic. It seems like such an obvious thing to do, and almost any French chocolatier would do that, and many people in the world. So it's very common, but it's one of those things. Well, if you get right, it's something else, no?
Well, Forte is a classic American company, with a long track record and incredible finesse. And I just adore the way the orange came through in this confection.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's a good example of, if you can do classic well, it doesn't have to be weird, wonderful, strange innovation. If you can do classic well. And then we had some enrobed caramels, again Forte, but this one from Ranger Chocolate. Again, very classic recipe, salted caramel.
But very harmonious, and the texture elements, they were right.
Yeah, so this is so important in this, so let's go on to the next ones. And so we're getting now into the nut-based pralines and ganaches, and we've got some Keshu, who will feature more later on. Quite a good handful of results there from Prophecy. It's always interesting as well that there's always companies, we know that have been around for a while or have entered before, and then names that, anyway, for me, I just don't know. But it's great when something comes along. That umami macambo, Maricel, that was pretty good.
That was extraordinary. And macambo obviously is the name of the Theobroma bicolor. That's how it's called in Peru. It's called pataste in Mesoamerica. But this company, and this is young people in Vermont, doing something that might seem simple, which is roasting and flavoring some beans. In this case, it's beautiful white beans of the Theobroma bicolor, but doing it with such subtlety that even though that umami has soy and other ingredients, but it's true to the umami concept, to bring out flavor. It's something that you cannot stop eating. It's fantastic. I did like the sweet macambo beans too. And actually, the three of them, I have jars of them, and I am constantly eating them. And I have to say that I had brought this, these products to my classes, and I have to ration them because otherwise this will be gone in seconds, because people really enjoy this. So congratulations, Prophecy.
No, that was pretty good. And so what we'll get to now is really the ganaches, and we get to our first kind of feature. Our friends Garcia Nevett, who were with us in Peru very recently. So I'm going to try and play a clip from them. Let's see if this works.
Hi, we are Isabel and Susana Garcia Nevett, sisters and chocolatiers behind Garcia Nevett Chocolatier de Miami. Our company is dedicated to creating award-winning confections that celebrate Venezuelan chocolate and our Miami roots. We're so proud that this year we got 3 medals at the International Chocolate Awards: gold for our vanilla rum chocolate, part of our Flavors of Florida collection, silver for our tropical Tonka tambourine chocolate, and finally, a bronze for our playful and nostalgic popcorn chocolate. These awards mean so much to us. They connect our small kitchen in Miami to a global community of chocolatiers and chocolate lovers who share our passion. Thank you for celebrating with us. We are proud to share our chocolates and our story with the world.
No, Grace, and we do have a interview with Garcia Nevett coming up as well. I'll cue that up very, very shortly.
Yeah, well, since you're showing that, then I won't tell the story of these 3 chocolates, because we talked about them during our interview.
Yes, so we'll get to that shortly. So just to move on then. So we're now into bars, and white chocolate bars with inclusions or pieces. And this is the thing, we've really discovered, as many of you who work in craft chocolate, that there's the idea white chocolate is basic, boring, sweet, dull. We were taught a different story with the International Chocolate Awards after about 3 years, when we didn't have white chocolate in the beginning, but people kept saying, can't I enter this? And then this world of flavor and discovery and really interesting things came along. I'd like to play a clip from Kesho that we've got here.
Hello everyone, this is Liang from Cacao Craft Chocolate. We are an Asian-inspired bean-to-bar chocolate maker based in Austin, Texas. Cacao has dual meanings in Japanese. It means crystal, which is because chocolate is...
Sorry, apologies for that.
Hello everyone, this is Liang from Cacao Craft Chocolate. We are an Asian-inspired bean-to-bar chocolate maker based in Austin, Texas. Cacao has dual meanings in Japanese. It means crystal, which is because chocolate is a crystallized structure. It also means fruit from hard labor, because making bean-to-bar chocolate all the way from sorting cacao beans in the Texan heat is not an easy process. This year, we got 2 silver and 1 bronze in the International Chocolate Awards, USA and Canada section. The first award-winning one is our guava lime dark chocolate. It's inspired from our trip in Vietnam, where people dip guava in the chili lime salt. It's one of our favorite treats in that Vietnamese trip. And the second award-winning one is our Ganache white chocolate bar. We sourced the Ganache from Kyoto, Japan. I studied pastry and bakery in Japan, so I love Japanese tea so much, and Ganache is my favorite. And the third award-winning one is the Black Sesame Buttercup. This is a fun Asian twist of peanut butter cup. We use our black sesame white chocolate and filled it with organic black sesame infused sunflower butter and wild honey. I'm sure you'll really like all 3 treats.
And also now we're going to show a clip from Black Jaguar, and this has become a theme, as you were saying already, Maricel, of using the Theobroma bicolor macambo as well here. And let's see.
I'm Scott. I'm chocolate maker at Black Jaguar Chocolate here in British Columbia, Canada. We're very honored to be awarded gold this year for our white Jaguar macambo nibs bar, white chocolate with inclusions. We were inspired by this bar when we learned about all the alternative theobromas, over 20 of them when we were in Colombia, and learning about the history of cacao. And we got very inspired to try to make a bar with these inclusions. We found this white chocolate a way to deliver the delicate, nutty flavor of the macambo bean through into the flavor of the bar. And we're really pleased with the way it turned out.
So, Maricel, could you just tell us a little bit more about macambo and what's the difference, macambo, patache?
It's the same. It's Theobroma bicolor. Theobroma bicolor. These are different names.
Hi, we are Isabel and Susana Garcia.
Sorry, apologies for that. Carry on.
Well, going back to Theobroma bicolor, it is a cacao, well, relative, but now it's being grown, sometimes together with cacao, but there are people, cultivating Theobroma bicolor. It's called macambo or majambo in Peru, and it's called patache in Mesoamerica. And I find it fantastic. It does not have sort of the elusive and complex flavor notes that cacao has. It's very nutty. It's like a macadamia, and it's very fatty too. But I believe that when you use it as an inclusion, when you roast it and use it as a nut, it's absolutely delicious. And I can see clearly that people in the US and Canada are already using it beautifully, and they will continue to do so because they have sources now.
Oh, great. And I have an interview. I managed to talk to Black Jaguar a couple of days ago. So let's play that. So, hi, Scott. So this is Scott of Black Jaguar in Vancouver Island. One of our winners for, I think, a very interesting sort of white chocolate. We can kind of discuss that. Very interesting product, which we really appreciated. So, Scott, tell us something about Black Jaguar and how you got going and how you got to where you are.
About 8 years ago, my partner Emily and I were working on a film on reforestation with agroforestry in the Amazon of Bolivia. We were in Albany, and that was where we first encountered cacao trees. From there, we went to Colombia and met a friend who's works at a university, and he's really into cacao. And so he had a whole library of books about it. He talked all about the different theobromas and cultural use of the indigenous people in that region, and how they had put it in many of the different preparations, all the different versions of it. And so when I heard about the tricolor alternative cacao Theobroma, I was really interested in trying to find somewhere along the way where we could incorporate it into a bar. And then being Black Jaguar, the idea of doing a white Jaguar bar just seemed interesting. So in Seattle last year, someone came up to my booth and said, "You got to do a white Jaguar bar." So since then, I've been sort of working on that idea, and this is the outcome of that. So
no, but pretty good. And you also source a lot of other cacao, like Nicaragua, places like this. You have direct relationships there.
yes, yeah, we actually started our business in San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua. It's a surf town with many European travelers who were looking for good chocolate, and we knew some of the best cacao in the world was coming out of Nicaragua, going to, like Denmark and places like that and winning all these gold awards, and yet nobody in the country was making chocolate with it. There was really bad like chocolate bars at the stores and stuff, and there's a few makers, but it was still pretty small. And so we imported some equipment and started making small scale chocolate. Won our first award for the Central America division in Nicaragua. And then coming back to Canada, we're able to find a way to get the beans, same ones we were using down there up here in Canada. And it's been going really well here with those Nicaraguan beans since. So we primarily use Nicaraguan cacao. Yeah, although we just recently got some from Bolivia, from the exact same region we first encountered.
Right, okay. So that could be interesting. But with this one, the white Jaguar, this is using, as I understand from you, Mexican macambo,
Yes.
the Theobroma bicolor,
Yes.
which is not cacao, is it? It's a
It's
relative.
a different tree, yeah. It's in the same botanical family, but it's a different species, and it's very tricky to work with because it's harder to peel, it's harder to winnow, and there's a little seed inside that has to be manually removed by hand every single bean. So it's taken me a while to get that technique down, but we are micro batch, so I take the time, and the results are good.
Yeah, I think this is what people have maybe tried chocolate from these other theobromas and maybe haven't realized it's, I think, much more difficult to work with. So that was, because people often look on white chocolate as being second class, too sweet, kind of not the best. But our experience in the awards has been we've had some really great white chocolate creations. And sometimes the simple ones can be the best. You can have fancy complex, but so what gave you the idea? Was that because you have like a dark version with the macambo nibs, do you? With the
Well, with the white chocolate, I really like the flavor of the macambo Jaguar cacao. And so rather than having it get lost in a dark chocolate, we found some really nice, delicate, flavored, unfiltered cacao butter. And then Mexican vanilla beans is what we also found. Our provider here was able to source us some really nice actual Mexican vanilla. So the combination of the natural cacao butter, and then the dairy milk we get too, which comes from the Canadian Rockies. And that was key too. I tried many different milks, and there was that particular one was the one we went with. So combining that Canadian Rocky milk, the Mexican vanilla, and then this particular cacao butter. Again, we tried a number of them. Those coming together is what really worked in this. And then using less sugar, like we made it considerably less sweet than most people. People say, "Oh, I don't like white chocolate," and then they try this and like, "Oh, wow, this is good." So this is like the white chocolate that's really turning people on to white chocolate here, and it's been going really well. Yeah.
No, I think that's great, and I've kind of wanted this for a while, to have less sweet white chocolate, because if you have good cocoa butter, why not? And then I think to do something creative with it. So yeah, the vanilla was great, and at just this point about there's something in the Jaguar cacao, some people call it the bicolor or macambo in Mexico, or pataste, I think more properly. Macambo is more South America. That it's a difficult thing that it doesn't have that longer kind of life. So I think another thing that there's this weird funky flavor that comes after too long, but your nibs were really fresh, had this really good note. So I think that's what helped it to work as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was pretty good. So, well, great. Thank you, Scott, and congratulations on that. We're looking forward to that in the world final, and to get your other products again and keep creating. And I hope to get out to Vancouver again sometime and have a chance to see you.
Yes, yeah, I hope so too. It'd be great to meet. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we have to kind of say that there's so much seems to be going on in Canada on the West Coast and the East Coast and the center. Would you agree, Maricel? It's kind of a hot spot.
Yes, it is. Experimentation, looking for different flavors. And right on this list, I can see Kasama with these incredible berries, on the list of winners. But I guess we're going to talk about that very soon, right?
Yes, and I just, because I just had a small moment of trying to queue up the Garcia Nevett video, which I'm just doing now.
Okay, good, because these two sisters are too extraordinary. They even have a day. There is a Garcia Nevett Day in South Miami. I think it's August 5th. That's how important they have become for the community.
So what happens on that day?
On that day, they're celebrated. So I imagine there must be some. They will do something next year, and I want to be there. Some festivity. But it's the Garcia Nevett Day. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Would you have a day like that, the Martin Christy Day?
I don't think that would be, that'd be so good. And could you say something, because I think it's quite significant that they're Venezuelan, no?
The Garcia Nevett sisters are from Venezuela. They arrive in Miami at different times. I think Susana, there's Susana and Isabel. Susana arrived in 2010, and then Isabel 2 years later. And they coincided, because they had families of their own. And they started this small company called Cacao Art. I met them at the Fairchild Tropical Botanical Garden at the Chocolate Festival. And I was just so impressed by their, how elegant everything they did was. And they have kept true to that sense of aesthetics. Now they have a shop and they changed names. They're now Garcia Nevett, it's their family name. And they have a fan club in Miami. Not only the Venezuelans, are great consumers of chocolate in Miami, and there are many of them, but also all Latin Americans. And essentially, it's everyone goes to the shop. They have classes. They do events, and what they offer is, I think, the true essence of Venezuelan chocolate. They source chocolate in Venezuela from two companies, El Rey, Esqui, and but they also have ingredients that are typical in Venezuelan cooking. For example, tonka, but also they mix the tonka with tamarind. And my favorite, bonbon. Actually, I call it, it's my platinum. It's a great combination, and the sisters will talk about it. And for the gold this year, it's this very classic, this beautiful little square. They don't do very ornate confections. They're very classic. So, because what you want is for all the flavors to shine through. Put them in your mouth, they melt beautifully. So it's a vanilla and rum bonbon. And the rum, I mean, the cacao, the chocolate is from Venezuela. It's Chocolates El Rey, and Carenero is a Carenero Superior bean, which I've always loved. And the rum, it's from Florida. It's called Papa Pilar. I think that was the name of the boat used by Hemingway. But it's a combination of Caribbean rums, and it's such an incredibly complex, but at the same time harmonious confection.
Okay. So I'm going to cue this up. This is a little bit long, so we'll just play the start of this, and then we'll be posting this on the YouTube channel.
People can see that in the YouTube channel afterwards.
Later on, yeah. So let's just switch these over, and
That's
Hello, good afternoon. Here we have the Garcia Nevett sisters, chocolatiers of Miami, representing Venezuela proudly for quite a while and going through several changes. I met them when they were Cacao Art way back, when they presented their chocolates, their bonbons at the Fairchild Chocolate Festival. But a lot has happened to you, and now you have this incredibly beautiful shop in South Miami and are doing, well, you always did good chocolates, but I think that now you have grown, and what you have sent to the competition, the International Chocolate Awards Americas, was extraordinary, and rightly so, because you won 3 important prizes. So tell us about your path, how you started, and the kinds of things you're doing now, and particularly talk to us about the chocolates that you sent to the awards.
Of course. So we started working in chocolate back home in Venezuela around 2009. That's when we launched, I think, our first chocolate company. And then when we moved to Miami, and fortunately for us, we both ended up in the same place. A lot of families who emigrate, they don't have that same experience, so that was nice. And then we decided, why not bring those beautiful chocolates and that beautiful Venezuelan cacao, that Venezuelan chocolate tradition to Miami? And that's when we started Cacao Art. We met you, Maricel. We felt the Maricel embrace, which has been lovely. And it's such a pleasure to learn also from you. And then through the years, we started with Cacao Art. And when we decided to open our first storefront in 2018, we changed to Garcia Nevett. In a sense, we're so proud of our product, we'll put our name on it a little bit.
So it's a very beautiful name. It has a lot of gravitas. I like the way it sounds, Garcia Nevett.
Yeah. Garcia is my dad and Nevett is our mom. So
but this is Isabel, who's been, very outspoken, and Susana with a colorful shirt.
Very Miamian, so you don't forget.
Well, you do have, although you are very Venezuelan and you express Venezuela in the flavors of your chocolates, in the chocolate that you use, but you have a sense of place. You belong to this community in South Miami, people who adore you. You have fan club.
We actually have our own day in South Miami. The city of South Miami gave us our own day. We have a Garcia Nevett Day, which is August 5th.
Well, listen, let's celebrate it next year. Let's celebrate it because you deserve it. I've seen your shop, and I know it's a meeting center. You do classes, people come to you from all over not only from South Miami, people come from all over because you do represent something very special. And not only, you have reached out across borders because you do have obviously a captive audience among Venezuelans.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of Venezuelans in Miami, but also, just about everybody goes to your shop.
Well, it's something that we've talked about before, Susana and I. We really want to be sort of ambassadors of, something good coming out of Venezuela. Sometimes it gets the news can get a little bit negative. So we love talking about something as positive as the wonderful Venezuelan, not only cacao, because we know a lot of chocolate makers are making such wonderful chocolate with Venezuelan cacao, but also with chocolate made in Venezuela by, Venezuelan companies in country of origin, which we think is really special. But then we're also in South Miami. We don't want to, shun or, think we're, better than. Yeah, no, we want to make sure that people understand we're Venezuelan and we love Venezuelan chocolate, but we're also in South Miami. We're embracing the culture, embracing the new ingredients. We have something like the tupelo honey and tupelo honey, which
I do remember that, the tupelo honey. I remember the salt.
The salt, I have a little jar here of the salt
from Clearwater, right?
In Florida.
And the rum from Key West.
The rum is from
which you used in one of my favorite bonbons of this competition, which is the vanilla.
Rum.
Bonbon. So tell us about it because it won a gold. A very tough category, by the way. So tell us about that.
Yes, this is a bonbon that we created a while ago, and it's beloved here. It's in our Flavors of Florida box, of course, and because a lot of our bonbons, they all have their story, you know, and this one is in particular is very much like our dad, and how much he loves a babao rum, which is like a cake. A brioche with vanilla and soaked in rum. So we say, okay, let's do this in a chocolate.
But I didn't know that part of the story.
All of our chocolates have a story.
Well, and also I have to say the format is very classic. And you know, I admire the art that goes into painting, you know, a bonbon beautifully. I have to say that I have a fondness for this square format, which is very easy to eat. It's classic. And then you are focused on flavor.
Yes.
Focused on the chocolate, on the flavors. And that's what happens to me every time I eat your chocolates.
That's one thing I was going to say, that even though this is a dessert and we love it, it has to marry well with the chocolate. So we get a lot of, are you going to do guava with chocolate? It's very hard. You know, because you need both ingredients to shine. And that's what we think we accomplish in this bonbon is
so you have the chocolate from Venezuela,
and then and so
sourcing. I don't know what company, you know, whether it's El Rey or Franceschi, I don't know which one.
In this case, it's mostly El Rey. Yes.
Okay, Chocolates El Rey. They can see this in YouTube. They can watch the rest of the interview.
Okay, I'm just being. Luckily, I have a team to tell me that I'm muted. Yeah, because I was.
Yeah, but anyway. I think people can watch the rest of the video in YouTube.
No, exactly. So we'll be posting the rest of that on YouTube. Moving on to white chocolate bars with an infusion or flavoring. And here we've got one, you know, some great bars, but one particularly successful winner that keeps coming back. And certain members of our jury are really very big fans of these. And I'd like to play one now. So we have a few clips from our grand jury judges. So I'm going to play one of those now.
Hi, I'm Jossie Bussin, and I live in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, just north of the city of Toronto. I've been judging for the International Chocolate Awards for about 12 years when Martin Christy first came to Toronto looking for judges. I was thrilled to be asked as I have a chef's background. I was thrilled again this year to be asked on the grand jury for the Americas competition. I got to help judge the white flavored chocolate category, and I was thrilled when a Canadian company from Vancouver, Kasama, won gold for their strawberry white. Their strawberry white starts slowly with the delicate flavor of British Columbia strawberries and builds into a crescendo of flavor as if you're sitting right in the strawberry patch, smelling and eating all those wonderful strawberries. The aftertaste is amazing. Yum. It is a standard at my house. I love the bar. Congratulations, Kasama. Good luck in the world.
So you can see some of the enthusiasm for these, and I was lucky enough to talk with Kasama actually that was last night for them and this morning for me. So let's have a look at that. That's still. Okay,
so hi, I've got Oliver here from Kasama in Vancouver or around British Columbia. I think you can tell us exactly where. So Oliver, tell us a little bit about Kasama and who you are and your philosophy and how you got started.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, so Kasama's based in Vancouver, British Columbia, so right on the west coast. So we're right on the ocean. And it's a little place our shop is in a little place called Granville Island, which has a lot of artist studios and craft markets and whatnot close by. So it's quite a nice scenic place. There's a lot of ocean and water and seagulls and
Yeah, very
seals
nice.
sometimes out when just outside the door and whatnot. So yeah, it's a neat little spot, and we were really lucky to get the space here. It's not a very big space, so we're a pretty small production, but we're sort of slowly managing the growth a little bit over time. And in some ways, it started already before we even knew much about chocolate. We were all friends, and we would often get together and brew beer. We started in 2010 when sort of the craft beer
Uh-huh.
revolution was just sort of starting, and then we kind of experimented a lot with different yeasts and hops and whatnot. And then one day, Vince, who inherited a little bit of his family's from the Philippines, and he inherited a little plot of land there. And one day he showed us these pictures of cacao pods. And so we said, well, why don't you bring back some cacao beans and we'll try making chocolate? And we were just sort of joking and we didn't know anything about cacao or chocolate. And then one day he actually did bring us a little bag, and then we thought, okay, well, let's do some research here and see how we can actually make chocolate out of these beans. And then that's sort of where it started. And we realized that it was a lot more involved than we had assumed. And that's kind of how we started down that rabbit hole initially.
Yeah, and I think that this is the thing with chocolate, is it's a dangerous subject that, once you touch it, it sucks you in and takes you over.
Oh yeah, there's a certain magic in it for
sure. Absolutely, yeah. So, and I know you've got some sort of pretty good origin bars. Particularly, I think the Taiwan, I think, is very interesting. But one thing you've been a hit with, certainly with the International Chocolate Awards, is these white chocolates with, I guess, freeze-dried fruits. Is that what you're using?
Yes, they're all freeze-dried fruits.
And these would be a lot of things you're sourcing locally?
Yeah, so this area, sort of near Vancouver, it's called the Fraser Valley, and it's well known as a berry growing region. So they grow a lot of strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. But the strawberries, especially that we get here locally, they're sort of a little bit smaller and more reddish inside, and they just have a really, really like aromatic flavor. So more so than the superstore strawberries that you'll get from usually California or other places. So they're usually only in season for sort of a short time between June and July. But yeah, the flavor was so good. So we thought maybe there's a local producer here who has some freeze-dried local strawberries. So we found one, and then we started just playing around a little bit. This was probably back in maybe 2017 or so when we started doing that. And then, yeah, we actually first had a raspberry bar for about a year before we even tried strawberry. And then one day we tried the strawberries and we're like, whoa, this flavor is really amazing. So we started, dialing in the recipe, and that's sort of how it started.
No, it's certainly, the judges agreed with you pretty overwhelmingly. So, the white strawberry, white chocolate has 91.7 as a score, which we, I think in the past people would not imagine that white chocolate could be something with such great flavor. But yeah, those strawberries really stand out. And you've also got the raspberry, the blackberry, so they would be local as well.
Yeah.
No, pretty good. And what's your favorite of the berry bars? Would that be the strawberry for you too, or?
For me, it is actually. For a lot of the stuff, it's the raspberry. The raspberry is just a little more tart than the strawberries. So, but yeah, everyone has their favorite. But I would say overall, with most of us here, probably the raspberry. For me, when I first tried the strawberry, I just had this, the aromas were just so interesting that, this is going to make a really good chocolate. And of course, there's other factors too, like the butter. Initially, sometimes we had butter, which maybe didn't mesh as well with the strawberries. It was a little bit more earthy or cocoa tasting. So we found a butter that has a bit more of that lighter floral note that works well with the strawberries. So that's a factor as well.
And also just looking at some of your other bars, just to not box you in as a white chocolate maker. So you've got the single malt dark infusion. So what's the whiskey in that?
So the whiskey we use, it's called Commodore whiskey. So it's a barley malt whiskey from a local distillery called Odd Society Distillery. And yeah, it's a Canadian whiskey. It's a fairly rounded whiskey. So it doesn't have like the peatiness of a Scotch. It's a little bit on the sweeter side. And yeah, we found it worked quite well with the Ecuador beans. So we've been doing that one for a long time as well.
And is that a case of you're infusing the nibs after roasting, or what's the technique, if you don't mind saying for that?
Yeah, so for that one, we add the whiskey to the nibs, mix it in, and then age it in the barrel. So it picks up a bit of the flavor of the wood as well, and then as well as the whiskey, and then we dry it out afterwards.
No, okay, great. Well, that's really good, Oliver. I wish we had more time to talk about all the products. Thank you for staying up late. Is there another of your winners that's your personal kind of standout, or something that you're happy to have to get a prize?
Yeah, I think it was really neat to get a prize for the Taiwan beans this year. Those were a little bit unique because a friend of ours, Olivia, she traveled to Taiwan and then she visited some of the farms there at Maya Farm and just tasted some of the beans and brought some back for us. And was like, hey guys, I've got some beans. Do you want to try making some chocolate out of this? So we tested some roasts and then tried some batches, and then it was just a small release, although we will be releasing another batch in the fall.
Okay,
so
great.
That was kind of neat to it was a little bit one of those adventures that came back, and yeah, that was a fun one.
No, great. Always good to explore. Well, thank you. And don't forget the World Final. Good luck with that. And we look forward to more of those strawberries. So thank you, Oliver.
Yep, the strawberry will stay in the lineup for sure. Yeah.
Great.
And well, yeah, it's busy season now. So we're hitting that point where we have to start getting our production up. So we'll get those world bars out as soon as we can, and then get ready for the Christmas season.
Great. Okay. Cheers.
So just going on to the dark chocolate bars with the filling. And this is a category which is really technically difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah, to get something right with a filling and to have that work and balanced and stay together and be a whole thing. We have Alo Simon, who's been a frequent winner and entrant, doing some very nice products, but this year with Sleepwalk Chocolateria doing particularly good things. And we do have an interview lined up with Maricel. I had a chance to speak to them, so let's have a listen with that.
What a team we have here. Everyone involved in chocolate making in Sleepwalk Chocolateria, all related to dark matter coffee roasters. That's how the business began way back in Chicago. We have Jesse Diaz, who's kind of the leader of this incredible operation with his team. So Jesse, good morning. Please introduce your people.
Good morning. Good morning. Quickly, I am Jesse Diaz. We started a wonderful chocolate company from our coffee company about 5 years ago, and yeah, I have an amazing team. We focus on sourcing ingredients from Mesoamerica, and we take lots of inspiration from our friends and our colleagues from outside of our industries. That being said, this is my team: Kelly Roederer, Danya Gabby, Jorge, and Nestor from the chocolate makers at Sleepwalk in Pilsen, Chicago.
I have met them, I believe, when we did the world final ceremony in your new place, Adios Amigos in Manhattan. Tell us about your winning bars this year. And I have to say that this is an interview that is long overdue because you have done very well in International Chocolate Awards Americas. You won Best in Show last year. And 2025 has not been disappointing because you have 3 extraordinary bars featuring cacaos from Mesoamerica and also ingredients that are local.
Yes, amazing. Go ahead, Kelly.
All right. So
Hi, Kelly.
yeah, first up, we have the Mule and Chiltepe bar. This one's a really exciting one because it works with a lot of different origins where we source products, cacao, honey, and it's got these tiny little super spicy Chiltepe peppers from Guatemala.
And I believe the honey is from Guanajuato, right?
From Guanajuato, yes. Yeah, so we work with some honey workers in Mexico City, and they source that for us. It's a mesquite honey, so it's a really awesome flavor profile. And it's like this spicy sweet combination that's really great. And the cacao
it takes a great honey to to tame the wildness of Chiltepín, and also the cacao you were saying.
Yes, the cacao is from Tabasco and Chiapas. So we work with exclusively Mexican cacaos for this bar, and so it's a really nice pairing of the acidity of the cacao with the sweetness of the honey and the spice of the Chiltepe pepper.
So you were thinking about harmony and balance. Well, how about the your mole bar?
Yeah, so the mole bar is a fun one. This is a collaboration with Chef Rick Bayless here in Chicago, and this uses a Oaxacan mole, a rojo, from Oaxaca, and we use it with agave in the middle. So it's like a super thin filling. It's hard to see here, but there's like this really skinny filling inside of mole, and then we use allspice, black pepper, and cinnamon in the bar itself. So it's got all of these spices in it with the mole inside. And it's a really nice way to pair together ingredients that are already from the origin of the cacao too. A lot of allspice goes on those cacao farms.
Beautifully crafted, because it's not easy to make a filled bar that
and they're super thin.
Delicate. Yeah. And how about the Oaxaca bar?
Yeah, so the Oaxaca bar, we infuse the cacao nibs with a mezcal from Oaxaca. And then we added a Oaxacan pasilla, which is a really unique pepper. It's got this like awesome smokiness and complexity. It's really special. We mixed that in with the bar to give it a little heat and like a little smokiness that pairs really well with the roastiness of the agave spirit in there.
Yeah. Well, it's one of my favorites, I have to say, and because I do enjoy the smoke pasilla chili from Oaxaca, which is not easy to find, by the way.
Yes, yeah, they're challenging to get. Yeah.
So you have accomplished, an amazing feat for, I would say Mesoamerican. I love that cultural term, to talk about countries, south of Mexico and then several countries in Central America. You are showcasing local regional cacaos from both Chiapas and Tabasco, which is very important, and then local ingredients and local recipes. And that's why the winning bars have also garnered other prizes. For sourcing, for creativity, for gastronomic value. I congratulate you, and I can only wait to taste what is in stock for us next year and in the months that will follow, because I know that you're working on several recipes, and I will certainly visit you at Adios Amigos in Manhattan. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So thanks for that, Maricel. That really was a very nice bar, no? and
yes,
technically very
good. The three of them, technically speaking, were fantastic. I think the way in which, you know, they showcase the good cacao from both Tabasco and Chiapas, and then they found these local ingredients. The miel and chiltepes is super complex because, you know, the honey from Guanajuato, which I didn't know that Guanajuato had great honey until I tasted this and until they told me. It really does wonders with the sort of the wild, very hot edge of the chiltepin. So, I mean, they know how to work with flavors, and I think it's their experience with coffee, because they are dark matter coffee. It's the initial company, so they do know how to treat specialty coffee, and I think that kind of translates into the way in which they work with good cacao.
Now I'm waiting to taste their coffee. That's
and we need to go to those amigos. We need to go to Dos Amigos together, so you would enjoy a great coffee there.
Okay,
it's an incredible shop.
That's a plan. Okay, let's move on. So looking at now, getting into flavored bars more. So dark chocolate bars with inclusions or pieces. So it has the bronzes and in the silvers and gold. So we've got some nice, interesting recipes there. Again, Sleepwalk, but the gold there, Eldora Chocolate. That's it. We have another interview courtesy of Maricel. There will be more of me coming up.
Yeah, that was I caught Steve Prickett, who's the owner of Eldora. You know, he was in landing in Granada. He had been in Croatia. So, I mean, it's, you know, you have to forgive me because, you know, I'm not a tech person. So I tried to grab these people on the go because I thought it was important that people get to know them. You know, Eldora is doing wonders in Albuquerque.
Great. Okay, so let's go for that one.
Hello, and thank you so much, Steve, for joining us today, because I know you are not in the United States. You're not in your beautiful Eldora shop in Albuquerque. You are in Spain, of all places. You just came back from a wedding in Croatia, and here you are, all suntan, ready for a vacation, because you do work hard, as I've seen myself when I was visiting your shop in Albuquerque, which is, you know, one of my favorite places because it feels like home. It's so beautifully decorated. I know your wife had something to do with it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Andrea, my wife, she's all the design, and she put her heart and soul into it. Yes.
Well, I think it's the perfect shop because it's so inviting for the many people who visit you for tours, and you do a great job. But also the fact that it's designed in such a way that you can move equipment and create a classroom. It's just, you know, work of genius, and it's such a pleasure to be there. And also, you know, to see firsthand the kind of sourcing job you do. You're very careful cacao buyer, and it shows in your bars. You are an equal opportunity cacao buyer because you go for quality and you buy from all over the world. But at the same time, you seem to have a fondness for the Americas. And you have won in several competitions with chocolates made with Venezuelan beans and Mexican beans. And I do appreciate, you know, the kind of effort you do, because one of the things that we found in the competition is that people are very careful about sourcing, and at the same time they're also interested in local cultures. And I want you to tell us, you know, a bit about your philosophy of flavor and what you're looking for in a good cacao, but at the same time how you're pairing that cacao with local New Mexican ingredients, because that's where you live, to create bars that talk about local cultures and cuisines.
Yeah, so the first thing we do is, we look around and we find sources. They sometimes call me, I call them, it doesn't matter. We have a nice conversation. I want to make sure that the cacao is grown sustainably, and the workers and the families are treated well. And if I get a good read on that, a good feel for that, then I ask for a sample. And they send a sample, and then we run it through we test it and get some flavor profile. And I have to tell you, it's just not me here. I've got a team of 3 that have been with me for a long time. That's Sharon and Joel and Daniela. And I taste it, the chocolate, when we do a test roast, but they do as well. And we don't try to be nice to each other. We're very strong in saying we like this chocolate or not, or whatever, but we get a good read on what kind of chocolate it's going to be. And then once we all agree that it's worthwhile, then I buy more to start to bring it into our process. This is something we've started from the first day, and we've continued to do that. And it's really proven to be very good in terms of just really getting good flavor and getting good beans from different sources, and also treating our suppliers well. We want them to be in business this year and the next year and the next year. We're quite proud of that. That we're sourcing from folks that we're doing something good for them, but they're doing something good for us. They're giving us very nice beans to make very nice chocolate.
Well, let's talk about your gold for bizcochito. With the New Mexican chiles. And obviously, I'm very fond of traditional New Mexican sweets. So this is a reinterpretation, something that is very dear to New Mexicans. The fact that you're using green chiles, which is, the regional treasure, makes me very happy. But also I know that you are using the Puerto Escondido cacao from Mexico. Tell us about, how you decided to do the bizcochito with the green chiles and the Mexican cacao.
Okay, so what, as you mentioned earlier, we were started up as a bean to bar business. It's really not, there's really one other in New Mexico. So we're in a kind of a wasteland of that product. And we said, we're going to make very nice chocolate. We're going to see if we can get New Mexico on the map and integrate their culture and flavors and what they've done. And so the other thing I do with my team is I just want them to make mistakes very quickly. I want them to make lots of mistakes. And if they bring ideas to the table, we can try things. And that's what happened on this. Sharon in our team is quite good. She's been with me from the beginning. She came up with some of the ideas and the flavors for our green chili bizcochito chocolate bar. And by the way, the state cookie for New Mexico is the bizcochito. So all we're doing is moving that into a chocolate version of that. So Sharon brings in some flavors. We all test it. We give her some feedback, and we really liked it. But then
So I'm just going to fade that one out. That's another great one, I think.
So that's a great one to watch. And I have to make a correction to myself, actually. So I keep saying that it's the cacao is from Puerto Escondido, because that's the name of a town, on the Oaxacan coast. But it's Agua Escondida. That's the name of the cacao. Later on in the interview, I correct myself, because I was there actually when he got that cacao and I tasted it. And I was so impressed by it. And actually, that's the cacao for the bizcochito, and then for another one that won Eldora prizes. I think it's the mole, which is, got a special prize for gastronomic and special recipe. Two mole bars. My challenge to the Mexicans and to everybody is like, let's do a feast day bar with a great mole recipe, because there's not just one type of mole. And I think that both Eldora and Sleepwalk accomplish that.
No, definitely. And I'd just like to give a shout out at this point to Viesha, who worked super hard on the graphics. And just because there's some nice images going on here. as well, which is part of our theme this year of celebrating local flavors, which has been very pertinent to this competition. And you'll be seeing more of that, I think, coming along.
I just wanted to say something. Well, if you analyze this, and I would invite everybody to really, read this on the website, you would see how, this interesting sort of harmonious blend of flavors here. And I have to say, the raspberry rose by Amano was extraordinary too. Art Polar has an incredible grasp of flavor combinations. You would agree with me, right?
No, for sure. And I think that, and the combination with the vanilla works really well, particularly in that one.
Absolutely. And actually, the vanilla there's a team player in these bars. It's not dominant.
Okay, so going on to dark chocolate bars with an infusion or flavoring. This is a popular category, so quite a lot of winners here. And looking at the silvers and gold, and a lot of success there for Good Now Farms, particularly with the caramelized onion, which
fantastic.
We've had before, and you always think that's not going to work, and it does, and it's a taste you won't forget, but it's a good taste that you won't forget.
And is a good sourcing for those onions. It's always been one of my favorites because obviously I'm a cook, so I understand savories and chocolate. So I congratulate Good Now for sticking to this recipe and keep doing it well.
No, definitely, and more success for Good Now in plain origin white chocolate bars, and also in alternative ingredients. And this is a category where it's not always easy to get right if you're using an alternative sugar or alternative to be like a vegan milk, or to have something else. There's lots of experimentation here, but when they do work, they can be pretty fantastic. So we've got maple goat. We've got oat milk, which is kind of quite classic. Yeah, so I think, and particularly I like these ones with the date, people using date sugar and discovering that actually does work pretty well with chocolate. So I think that's interesting. And then we get on moving off the flavored bars into micro-batch plain origin milk chocolate bars. And again, we've got some interesting recipes there, and typically going for higher percentage. It's unusual these days to see a craft milk chocolate bar with 40% or something. People tending to go higher, and we've got some interesting things there as well, like the goat milk coming in, and some classic milk bars. And now we've got just a silver for Amano in the larger scale producers for milk chocolate. And then we've got the high percentage category. And I want to play here for this, one of our grand juror judges who is a particular fan of these things sent us a message. So.
Hi guys, Adrienne Newman here. I have been judging with the International Chocolate Awards for over 10 years. I am also a grand jury judge, and I'm here to talk to you today about the high percent plain dark category, which is my favorite and my specialty. And wow, what an accomplishment this year. We had 3 golds in this category. It was the biggest number of entrants ever. This growing category never ceases to amaze me with the absolute brilliance of the chocolate making because of the unadulterated nature of the chocolate and really bringing out the essence of the bean in every case. Thank you for producing such wonders, and good luck at the World Final. See you there.
Thanks to Adrienne there. And I think it's worth looking at a few of the winners here. And this is one of those situations where we had a tie. Sometimes it happens. So we had both Common Ground, chocolate maker from Canada, and Cacao from making chocolate in the US, but from Dominican Republic. And we do have a clip from Cacao, which I think we could play now.
Hi, I'm Nadia Rizek, manager of Cacao USA. This year at the International Chocolate Awards, our passion for cacao and fine chocolate was once again recognized. Gold for Monte Plata 100% and West Indian 67%, silver for La Esmeralda 67%, and bronze for Los Bejucos 65%. These awards celebrate not only the quality of our cacao beans, but also the knowledge and expertise that we've cultivated for over 100 years. And every person who makes it possible, from the farmers planting the beans to the artisans molding each bar. Because at Cacao, making chocolate is more than a process, it's an art. And that's what cacao is all about, the art of Dominican cacao.
Well, it's always fantastic to, to see young people like Nadia. It's a long generation of people involved in cacao and chocolate in that family. And I have to say that the Monte Plata bar is a surprise for just about everybody. This is an area that is not as celebrated as Los Bejucos and Duarte. It's an area that has suffered a lot, created by reconstituted peasantries, who escaped from the northern part, or they were forced to leave the northern part of the Hispaniola, what is the Dominican Republic today, and are engaging agriculture. You and I know it very well, Martin. We've met the people. These are the people who make the poddies.
Do you know,
Josie with the potty on her back, on her shoulders.
I have to play that. I actually forgot to. Let me just put that on screen a second. So you see behind
Josie's Bussin, and I live in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, just north of
yellow
the city
pod
of
there.
Toronto. I've been judging for the International Chocolate Awards for about 12 years. When Martin Christy first
is a poddy. Maricel, tell the story of the poddies.
Well, a group of women in that community got together to create this craft with the help, obviously, of the Rizek company. And Fuparoka, you have a potty there. God, I have potties too. Wait a minute. Let's get a potty party here going. I have it.
And it is one of the things in the place where the women make these.
I have
there's like
too.
200 of them all sitting on the table, smiling at you.
So they sell it to visitors and potties. And I these women all work in cacao. They have farms, and they harvest their own cacao. They process everything. So it is, added value to what they do. But Monte Plata has very interesting cacao. I mean, it's a bunch of non-specific hybrids. There is a Melonado, there is ICS, there is everything but the kitchen sink. So it's a blend. And it's very interesting that the winning bar is 100%. But as Adrian said,
it's the age of 100%. Yeah,
but it takes good judges, So I have to say that, I do love the 100% bars. And I thought that I would never like them, but I do now.
No, exactly. I feel like we're in another world of high percentage.
Mm-hmm. I respect it.
More is coming up on that. Let's go back to our winners list. And now we're on. This is always the biggest category, the micro batch plain origin bars. So we've a whole bunch of bronze winners there, all with pretty high scores, and then we have silvers, which again is a good selection of some classic and new US Canadian chocolate makers, some names we've talked about already. And
so can I say a couple of things here?
Yeah.
You know, first of all, I mean, you have a Chihuahua there, very well chosen by Eldora. But then we have Jessica Especial. It's a limited edition bar from Good Now. And I have to say that I buy this. I go to the Coco store in Manhattan, and when they have a few of them, I buy them all because I bring this bar to my classes, you know, all over Latin America. I want people to taste what a real criollo from Nicaragua is like. And it's always a revelation. What I mean by limited edition, I mean very small amounts. And I happen to have been to the farm where this incredible cacao grows. And I do know the farmer. He's been a friend of mine for over a decade because we share a passion for criollo. We met in Guatemala. And so I know the trees, I know the cacao, I know the beans. I've seen this cacao being fermented. I understand the process. And then when I tasted it for the first time at the Northwest Chocolate Festival, I was absolutely mesmerized. So it's one of my favorite bars, actually. So I congratulate Good Now for having the good sense for seeking out something special and keeping it alive. You know, giving the farmer a reason for growing this, which I think is essential. You need to have an incentive, somebody who appreciates what you grow painstakingly.
Yes.
Oh, and then wait a minute.
Okay.
So we have silver for Cantus Chasca, and this is from Junin, and this is not far from Pangoa. This is the area where Elfie Maldonado comes from. So this is a different. This is a different type of
that
bean.
leads us on. That leads us on nicely because in the golds in this category, we had two again tied. You know, we always, if we can, we would choose one gold, but we have to go by the score sometimes. So there were two equally tied, again, Cacao, who we already heard from, but also Cantu, as you were just mentioning. And we
West Indian is a very particular bar because it also has enhanced fermentation, you know, with bay rum, but it's just beautifully made, and the percentage might seem low, but it isn't, because the cacao is speaking and saying, I want that kind of sugar. So they're not really trying to do an 80% or 90% because the cacao requires that percentage. And I would say the Morropon is extraordinary. That's Piura. That's a Blanco de Piura. Morropon is an oasis, you know, in a very arid area called Piura. And we know people there are Malagasy, descendants of Malagasy, people who were brought early on in the colonial period to work the cacao there. And I think that Elfie and Maxime, which is the couple Cantu, have a direct relationship with this farmers.
Let's have a look. So let's have a look. We've got a clip from them.
Hello, I am Elfie.
And I'm Maxime.
And we are co-founders of Cacao Chocolate. We are based here in Montreal, Canada. And Cacao is a love story. It's a love story between Maxime and I. It's a love story between Peru and Canada. And we work only with Peruvian cocoa beans.
Also, we work with 4 cooperatives from Peru. Since the beginning, so since 9 years ago, we work with them, and we go every year to select our beans, to visit our friends at the cooperatives, to ensure the highest quality of all the beans that we buy, to ensure that the chocolate will be the best. And this year, we won the gold medal with the Morropon. Morropon is made with white cocoa bean from north of Peru. Have a profile of red berries, cranberries, cherries, honey, very chic. It's our star. We are very proud of our star here at Cantu. Way, gold medal!
They're so proud.
Good evening. Here we have Elfie and Maxime, the fantastic couple. the heart and soul of Cantu, an award-winning chocolate company in Canada that consistently has surprised us and delighted us through the years in the International Chocolate Awards Americas. You have sent products that have defied the notion of what fine chocolate is. And I would like for you to explain to us about the winning bars that you have sent to this edition of the awards and the work that you do sourcing fantastic cacao in Peru.
Thank you so much, Maricel. We are so happy to be part of the International Chocolate Awards this year. So yes, I am Elfie. I am from Peru, and now we are making chocolate.
But you sound now, you sounded so French Canadian. Elfie, Elfie Maldonado. It's not Elfie, right? Or is it? Your name. Is it Elfie or Elfie?
Elfie.
Elfie. No, you sounded Elfie all of a sudden.
Yeah, she have an accent of Quebec now.
Well, that's good. She's married to someone from that part of the world. You just came back from Peru, right?
Yes.
You were with your family at Puerto Maldonado.
Yes, we were for family, friends, and also for sourcing cacao.
Oh, so we can expect something from that area, I hope, right?
Yes. Now we are working with a family there, with my friend of Chosu for the new Teobroma. So yes, it's a new project that you will.
I can't wait to taste it. But now tell us about the winning bars and your work in Canada.
For sure. We work with 4 cooperatives in Peru, but our winning bar this year, the winner is Morropon.
Morropon.
It's made with white cocoa beans from Morropon. And
Morropon is one of those oases in Piura, which is desert land, but cacao grows in this beautiful fertile oasis.
Yes, it's a miracle. It's a miracle of nature. It's a very special place that the smell honey, sugar,
algarrobina.
Algarrobina.
Well, everything smells like algarrobina in Piura. It's one of my descriptors. Every time that I'm asked to describe Piura, I do find algarrobina. So tell us about. So you have contacts of also in several places in Piura, but why is Morropon so special?
Because, for example, in Piura we have the white cacao, but in different soils we can taste different flavor. Morropon is special because it's very. It's juicy. It tastes like cherries, plums. We have Gran Blanco too, but it's another story. It's citrusy, sparkling, but they're special. Each cacao
so
is
you would say that Morropon is a rounder acidity. You say also that you have those dark notes of algarrobina.
Yes.
Which I find so appealing. So how about, but that one really won big in this competition. It's among the best bars that anyone sent from Peru. As you know, Peru has its own competition. So you are now the one representative of Peru in North America. And you happen to do an outstanding job. But I was also curious about Chaska that won you a silver. Can you tell us a little bit about Chaska?
Yes, but Chaska is very special for us because it's from Junin region. And Junin is the home region of Elfie, because Elfie was born in Junin, in a village a bit like 4 hours from Pangoa. But it's the same region, and we feel the same connection with the people. When we go there, it's like family. There's a special connection. We feel very good with all the cooperative, but I think in Pangua we have a special connection. And that cacao, it's a mountain criollo. It's also fruity, but more.
Criollo in the sense that it's native to the area.
Yes, yes, it's native from the area. And it's very juicy also like the Moropon, but with notes of purple berries like blueberries, blackberries, also.
There is definitely a difference between that Junin cacao and the ones from Piura. For both of you, do you want to send a message to Peru? Because you are representing Peru in North America. So what is your message? What do you think Peruvian cacao farmers and chocolate makers should be doing right now?
Yes, thank you a lot, because for us we are honored. Peru is like our father, it's like our mother. We are very honored to represent the Peruvian cacao, and always is special for us because their people keep the best for us. When we arrive, this batch, this lot is for you. We reserve it for you, and for us, it's a big responsibility to honor this special batch, special lot. How do you say lot?
Special batch.
And also to interpret something that was grown and processed with hate and love, and to be true to that affection. And I also sense a sense of gratitude. In what you're saying, because people are keeping the best cacao for you, and I think this is important. Well, both of you, Elfie and Maxime, I just want to express that that this little recording that we're doing to honor you tomorrow when we're doing the the presentation essentially of the winners is long overdue, because you have consistently done beautifully in the awards, and there is no single Cantu bar that I haven't loved. I want you to know that, and I know that the feeling, it's widespread among all of us who enjoy and have tasted your chocolates. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much,
Maricel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like these people so much. I like their passion.
I just wanted to add to your comment as well that the Janduya bar.
Oh my God.
Which was, yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
It was an amazing bar. They had such passion, but it's a sense of gratitude,
like,
because there's a sense of, but also it's a sense of intimacy with the farmers.
And humor, yes.
But direct cacao at its best expression, because they have this very intimate relationship. People reserve the best cacao for them, and it shows.
No, definitely. Okay, so moving on, we've got larger scale plain origin dark bars. Again, some good winners there. Amano, French Broad, Charlebet. We couldn't track down. I hope we can do a separate interview with them.
They do a very good job.
They do generally, in that Tanzania bar is almost the ideal of Tanzania, where you have the kind of raspberry rose on top of the flavor. So they've done that really pretty well.
I do, this is a very good composite, of great companies that have done, also very well in other iterations of the Americas. We have Fruition, they're masters. They understand cacao. And I see, well, Mano is here again. And with Cuyawa, for example, which I love, and French Broad. that has been absent. And recently they went through hell, when the hurricane hit their area and they have this flood. So I'm so glad that they are doing well, that they did well in this competition.
Yes, definitely, yes. Okay, and so we've really got one more part to show you for Americas, US, Canada. So these were the overall winners, the highest scoring in their class, if you like. So in filled chocolates, it was that orange confit from Forte, which was it was, I think, Ghana for the cacao, but it just worked so well against the orange in this very well-done classic recipe. We talked a lot about the Kasama strawberry white, that classic milk, almost unheard, but just doing a milk bar really well, and the Monte Plata 100% from cacao. So that's a pretty good, interesting set. Now we're about to switch to Latin Americas, but before we do that, I'd like to play a note from our sponsor for this competition, who was DCM Diamond Chocolate Machines, who helped us with the shipping out. So a big thing all the winners here will know about is sending in samples is ever more complicated. Just a note, if you're in this competition and you're not in the US, the rules are changing a lot at the moment with the tariffs and the de minimis and different things going on. So when you're sending your samples, please do this time follow the correct customs advice, because we really don't know how things will be. But there's also sending out to judges, and because we do have international panels, we have a methodology of having panel alignment of our judges. We use some quite advanced statistics, which we will tell you more about quite soon, I hope. Just while I'm talking about this, so because of this, we do have international panel, and we were sending chocolates to many places. So that's a big work, isn't it, Maricel? It's your favorite job.
Yeah, it's my favorite job in the world. Yes, I don't sleep over that, because we have to send, not only receive packages from all over and make sure they're in good condition, but also when we send out the samples to the judges all over the world, we have to make sure that they're well protected, because our weather is changing, and so we never know if we're going to have melting heat in the receiving area. So it's always been very hard, but this year we got a sponsor for the shipping part, so the technical part.
So I'm going to play a little video. And I'm just interrupting you because this video has no sound. I double checked. So
oh my God,
we can talk about them while we're playing.
The DCM video.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know what happened there, but I think many of you know DCM, and I think many small chocolate makers, when they start off, could well be using these machines.
Well, I love the fact that the new DCM machines are made in New Jersey. And so Bhavani Verapaneni is kind of a neighbor of mine. And, I am a fan. I have my DCM, I call it La Silenciosa, the silent one, is the Model 15. And I'm doing test batches here at my office. And when I teach here, my students, well, that's the machine. But this year, I have to say that Bhavani decided to help us out, with the shipping, and that helped us a great deal, because, we were able to use his corporate account that facilitated things. It's not that he came here to fill the boxes. Still, it's something I had to do for the judges, but he made life so much easier for all of us. and we got success rates because, you know, we had overnight deliveries all over the world, and it worked.
Yes.
No melted chocolate along the way.
No, so
thank you, Babani. Thank you, DCM, for all you do.
And this could also be our second profession, is logistics and customs. And
well, I can write a book now on how to pack, because I have learned quite a bit about how to do it successfully. And I hope that, you know, this is something that we can share with our entrants, because when they send products, they have to know what temperature is happening at home, but also imagine what's happening at the receiving end. So they have to be very careful packing, and they have to be careful filling out their custom documents.
No, exactly. So it's you know, like anything in life, there's the creative, interesting part, and then there's the 95% dealing with bureaucracy. Just before we move on to Latin America, I'd like to play another note from one of our jury. So let's try this one.
Hi there, I am Barbie Van Horn, and I am a judge for the International Chocolate Awards. I don't exactly remember when I started judging, so I don't know how long I've been judging, but I do love the judging process. One of the things I love is when you find a bar that you know is going to be something absolutely special. And one of those bars that did win a gold this year that just blows my mind is the Caramelized Onion Chocolate Bar by Goodnow Farms. Not something that you would think about putting together with chocolate, but it is one of those that you put in your mouth and you know immediately, this works. This is balanced. It's a beautiful experience. It's something out of the ordinary. And I love finding those when I'm.
Good job, Barbie.
Yep, note from Barbie. So now going on to Latin Caribbean competition. So as Maricel said, these are judged together, but they are separate competitions because they've grown so much. And I think that in the different Latin countries, the craft chocolate movement has developed so much as well.
Well, that's one of the themes, you know, is there's a renaissance of fine cacao and also fine chocolate. So it's essentially giving back, you know, to the people who produce cacao. I love, you know, the chiles, as you know, is one of my passions. These are chiles that I grew, by the way, in my backyard here in New Jersey, talking about sort of representing the essence of Latin America elsewhere. Chiles featuring largely in some of the chocolates that won prizes. Ingredients that were used by the ancient Maya and the Aztecs, brought back to life. Those are among the themes, you know, that we have found in the entries from this vast region, because, you know, it's no small feat, you know. So we're talking about Mexico, the Caribbean, all of Central America, and then South America.
No, for sure. So let's start off with cocoa butter and powder cacao ingredients. And probably it's a good time to Maricel can tell you about Hacienda Napaná.
Well, I like to talk about this too, you know, for cocoa butter, which is so important. I used to dismiss it, but not anymore. I think it's an extraordinary product. It's you know, it's the crystalline heart of cacao and chocolate. So we have two family enterprises here. We have Catica Chocolates in Costa Rica. Again, you know, it's two sisters and the mother. And then we have Hacienda Napaná, a team of four, father, mother, two beautiful daughters who are going to be future chocolate makers. Well, I should not say future. They are chocolate makers. Mm-hmm. And also they do harvest. They do help fermentation. They do help in the drying. So this is a totally integrated group of people, vertically integrated, because it's this cacao butter is from tree to bar. And
okay, and we do have the interview. So
we do have the interview.
Let's play some of that.
Hola, buenas tardes, mi hermosa familia en Apaná.
Buenas tardes,
Hola,
Maricel.
Bueno, los encuentro en un sitio desconocido para mí, Ciudad México, porque estoy tan acostumbrada a verlos en la finca, la hacienda en Apaná, muy cerca de Pichucalco, un pueblo donde todo pasa, es como el Macondo de 100 años de soledad. Y cuando los veo así tan bien vestidos, tan elegantes, en Ciudad de México, bueno, pues un poquito fuera de contexto, pero quiero decirles que esta familia, Hacienda Napaná, es la tierra viva de Chiapas. Felicitaciones por los éxitos que han obtenido en el International Chocolate Awards Americas. No saben el orgullo que siento por estos premios, por estos oros, porque sé el trabajo que está detrás de todo esto. Es un reconocimiento a un trabajo en familia, un reconocimiento al trabajo hecho a mano. Y de eso quiero hablar. ¿Cómo te sientes, Rafael? ¿Y cómo te sientes tú, Marta? Rafael Vila y Marta Contreras. Y Andrea Vila Contreras, que es la segunda generación que está procesando cacao, pero es la 10ª en la familia en estar involucrada en el tema del chocolate y el cacao. La pregunta es, ¿cómo se sienten ustedes trabajando en familia? A los padres le pregunto, pero también a la hija. Pero vamos a empezar con los padres. Rafael.
Bueno, antes que nada, gracias Maricel por lo que hace International Chocolate Awards. Gracias por este espacio. Y bueno, nos sentimos sumamente satisfechos, orgullosos, porque el equipo que se ha formado, el equipo de Hacienda La Paná, somos 4, tú bien conoces la labor. Tenemos otros colaboradores, tenemos personas en campo, personas en taller, pero finalmente la esencia de Hacienda La Paná es un estilo de vida de esta familia que está aquí. Nos faltó la pequeña que no pudo venir en este viaje, estamos en Ciudad de México, pero bueno, es muy satisfactorio poder cultivar, cosechar, procesar y todos los escalones que lleva un producto final que pueda competir en International Chocolate Awards.
Ustedes están viviendo en Pichucalco.
Sí.
La finca está como a unos 10, 15 minutos, ¿no?
Está a 10 minutos de la casa.
De la casa.
Estamos, sí, en el pueblo y la plantación está a 10 minutos de la casa. El proyecto en algún momento es vivir allá, porque como sabes, el 70% de lo que consumimos en casa lo tenemos en plantación.
Claro, porque todo lo que ustedes hacen está hecho a mano. Ustedes son los grandes artesanos de la cocina y del cacao y del chocolate. Yo sé también que cuando hay cosecha, ustedes duermen en la finca, en hamacas, que espero eso no cambie, aunque tengan un lugar precioso, que sé que están construyendo un taller muy bonito. Rafael es arquitecto de profesión, cacautero de tradición y por amor también. Háblanos un poco de, o sea, la labor en familia es muy enriquecedora, porque estás con la gente que quieres, al mismo tiempo estás viendo a otra generación empoderarse, porque tus 2 hijas aman el cacao y el chocolate. Y es algo muy natural, porque yo he visto el crecimiento. Andrea fue la primera alumna joven del International Institute of Chocolate and Cacao Tasting. Y luego, en esta edición en Monterrey, pues tenemos a Elena, con 13 años, que ahora en este momento es la alumna más joven del nivel 1 del instituto. Me siento feliz porque yo no sentía que Elena quería ser catadora, pero Elena ha cambiado tremendamente. Elena tiene un magnífico paladar, o sea, prestó atención a cada palabra, sus preguntas eran puntuales, el trabajo en el examen increíble. Entonces me siento orgullosa porque aquí hay un trabajo de finca, de que estas chicas conocen a cada árbol, igual que tú, Rafael y Marta, sino que también están trabajando con ustedes en todo el proceso. Se están convirtiendo en grandes artesanas. Tú eres un gran artesano, Rafael, y te quiero comentar que tus confites, los confites que ganaron un gran premio este año, están hechos a manos en casos de cobre, de Santa Clara del Cobre. Y yo personalmente los he visto ustedes comprar 2 casos últimamente en Monterrey, este señor que llegó vendiendo cosas de Santa Clara del Cobre, donde tú haces ese trabajo a mano, pero un trabajo depurado por completo, donde lo que brilla realmente es el cacao de Hacienda Napaná. Háblame un poquito del cacao de tu finca.
Bueno, la finca es una finca de 1853. Actualmente hay un área de cacao antigua de esa época. Están ahí los árboles sombra, que son hules criollos, que son, a diferencia del hule brasileño, estos son los árboles sombra que se dejaron de cosechar en nuestra región hace 80 años. Y se dejaron de cosechar cuando ya tenían tal vez 20 o 30 años de edad. Entonces tenemos árboles sombra de 110, de 120, de 130 años. Y bajo esas sombras están... hemos identificado 13 varietales de cacao por sus características fenotípicas, no se les ha hecho un análisis. Entonces, sabemos que son híbridos, que son cacaos que no han tenido una intervención de varietales nuevos, de externos. Entonces, la mezcla de Napaná son esos 13 varietales antiguos de híbridos no específicos y que dan ese sabor específico de la finca que tiene historia, que tiene antigüedad, que son árboles muy viejos, que tenemos troncos que tienen 7, 8 metros de altura y que a veces añadimos 2 o 3 varas para llegar con la cuchilla a cortar las mazorcas, ¿no? Entonces,
También,
eso es...
bueno, está tu trabajo de investigación, porque tú también...
So we'll fade that one out, and again,
well,
you'll be able to watch
it's a long interview.
the full
they were
version
coming
on-
out. The family was coming out of a show in Mexico City, and so we had a long conversation because they had a lot of things to say. And I just want to point out that being a vertically integrated enterprise, and it's just family. They have a sense of community because the people who work there are people from the Pichucalco area. They're not constantly bringing material, new genetic material to the farm. So they have, their Hacienda Napaná blend. But for example, Rafael has brought some special cacao growing in the farm of one of the members of his family with white cotyledons. They also have almendra blanca, which came originally from La Joya. So they have different types of genetics, but they're not into the idea that they need to bring anything from elsewhere. They are very much a part of this. And I want to take this opportunity to say that Marta, Rafael, Elena, and Andrea, they're all at a very special place in Villahermosa. So it's the Museum of Cacao and Chocolate called La Cacaotera. It's on the Malecón of the Rio Grijalva. They're there with people from the Ministry of Culture, local personalities, and also with other winners of this competition. In a way, for all of us, Villahermosa in Tabasco is 0.0, because we have all met and we have all come together through the great festival, chocolate festival in Villahermosa, and this is the handiwork of the Secretaría de Turismo, and also the idea of bringing the courses, the IICCT courses to Villahermosa since 2018. So I have a lot of people to thank. Volter Chocolates. It's an incredible company in Tabasco, in Comalcalco, that has also won very big in the Americas competition. So all of you, if you're watching, si ustedes están mirando, porque yo no sé por qué hablo en inglés, si ya llegamos a la parte de Latinoamérica, si están mirando esto, deben saber que tenemos a varios ganadores de este concurso en el Museo Regional La Cacaotera, que por cierto, Irani Córdoba es una de nuestras estudiantes, es la directora de este museo, pero tenemos personalidades de Villahermosa y quiero puntualizar de vuelta de que la razón por la que muchos de nosotros nos conocemos y estamos colaborando y trabajando juntos es porque nos hemos conocido en el gran festival de chocolate de Villahermosa, que para mí es uno de los mejores de toda Latinoamérica y del mundo. Nos hemos conocido allí. Realmente el germen de tantas cosas comenzó en este festival. Los felicito a todos y muchísimas gracias por estar reunidos con nosotros y esperar su momento de gloria que está aquí. Gracias a todos ustedes. Martin, do you want to, in a way, do you have a way to show, this is a beautiful museum, es un museo precioso. ¿Podemos verlo? Can we take a look at the museum?
Yes, let's do that. We've got them.
Vamos a ver si tenemos una vista del museo con todos ustedes.
Just to say that this will be multilingual, and for the videos we will post them with subtitle and translation.
Y cuando tengamos los videos ya en YouTube, porque no podemos ponerlos todos porque son de 20 minutos y no saldríamos a más de aquí. Pero vamos a ver si podemos ver la acción en el museo. If you can see what's happening at the Museo Regional La Cacaotera.
So I think that hey!
Míralos. Oh my God.
Oh, we saw you for a second.
No, míralos ahí. Aquí están todos. Aquí está, tenemos a Marta Contreras, tenemos a Elena, que es la estudiante más joven del instituto, la segunda más joven, Andrea. Tenemos a Irani Córdoba, que es nivel 3. Tenemos a Silvia Guedes, nivel 3. Y tenemos a Volte, que es nivel 3. Y también un ganador extraordinario a través de los años. ¿Quién más está ahí? Tenemos a Arturo Gómez, de Cruz. Martin, let me introduce you to this incredible, well, you know Silvia, and you know, of course, Alejandro. Oscar Rodolfo Chocolatier from Chiapas. Aquí lo tenemos. Y aquí tenemos a Arturo Gómez, de Cruz. So you didn't know him in person, but, here he is. Oh, mi madre, tenemos a toda la tropa de Villahermosa. Quiero decirles que los felicito a todos. Tenemos a Hugo Chávez, Agrofloresta. Qué maravilla. Este es un grupo estelar. Por favor, tómense fotos. So this is a stellar group of winners and students. Now, many of the students are not only level 1 and 2, but they're also level 3. it's quite a team.
Está viendo.
Sí. Marín, también hay productores. Vinieron casi todos los productores.
So they say that the farmers also are here. And so this is I'm going to say it in English and then I'm going to say it in Spanish, okay? So I'm saying in English for Martin and some of our viewers who speak only English.
Doctora, ¿logra escucharnos?
So Mexico, sí, puedo escucharlos. So Mexico has done very big in this competition, about 27 prizes, right, Martin? Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah, about 27 prizes, Mexico. And but also I want to say that there is a grassroots movement. People who have taken the courses, who are training, who are doing innovative things. Le estoy comentando a Martín que este es un grupo estelar, que este año México ha tenido un protagonismo de ser un gigante dormido, ya está muy despierto, que ha ganado 27 premios este año en el concurso de las Américas, y que aquí tenemos no solamente a los ganadores, sino también tenemos a agricultores que han venido a unirse a esta. Tenemos estudiantes también. Tenemos aquí, por ejemplo, la directora del museo de la Cacaotera es Irani Córdoba, que ya es nivel 3. Yo los felicito a todos. Aquí tenemos, pero ¿por qué? Vamos a hacer algo interesante. ¿Por qué? Para que todo el mundo los conozca. Vamos a empezar con Alejandro. Digan su nombre completo y alcen la mano para que todo el mundo los conozca. A ver, Alejandro, empezamos por ti. A ver.
Alejandro Campos, Water Chocolate.
Muy bien. Sigue Marta.
Marta Elena Contreras, de Hacienda Napaná.
A ver, ¿quién es esa chiquilina? Elena Mina Contreras, que es la alumna. This is the youngest student of the International Institute of Chocolate and Cacao Tasting, right there. A ver, la altota que está al lado de Elena. So now she's been, she's no longer the youngest. She's now the second youngest. A ver, la belleza esa vestida en ropa tradicional. Alza la mano.
Irani Córdoba, Museo Regional La Cacaotera, productora de cacao.
y nivel 3. She's level 3. A ver, ¿quién más? Tenemos a Silvia.
Hey.
Oye, no te oigo, Silvia. Silvia Guedes, who's from Venezuela, and she started making bonbons, a chocolatier, but now she's a chocolate maker and using cacao from Tabasco. Proudly so. ¿Qué más? A ver, al lado.
Arturo Gómez Ibarra de Cruz Cacao.
De Cruz Cacao, que ganó un oro con su flor de manita y su proceso de fermentación especial y no tostado. A ver, ¿quién más tenemos aquí? Rafael, preséntate.
Rafael Vila de Hacienda La Paná.
Muy bien, ¿y quién es ese hermoso que está ahí? A ver.
Oscar Rodolfo de Oscar Rodolfo Chocolatier.
Well, Oscar Rodolfo, que ganó un oro muy bien merecido por su bombón de posh, que es un destilado de trigo y de maíz. Es una bebida tradicional maya con café chiapaneco, delicioso. ¿Qué más tenemos ahí? Tenemos a alguien muy especial ahí atrás, que está muy calladito. Exacto, Hugo.
Hello, everyone. This is
Hugo Chavez, who's a farmer, and basically a lot of cacao comes from Hugo. Te estoy diciendo que tú eres agricultor, que también distribuyes cacao regional y que, por ejemplo, sabemos que algunas de tus barras, Silvia, están hechas con cacao de agrofloresta, ¿no? A ver, ¿quién más tenemos ahí? ¿Quién está detrás de Silvia?
El señor Orbelín Collado López. Orbelín Collado López, productor de cacao de Guanajuato.
So, we have a producer there. Martin, where are you? ¿Quién más? A ver. Este grupo precioso. A ver. Usted, señora.
Eloísa Pérez, soy de Cunacán, productora.
Qué maravilla. La señora que está al lado suyo. ¿Y a quién tenemos ahí? El señor del sombrero.
Israel Córdoba, el productor de cacao, y nosotros nos agregamos 7 familias cacao.
Bueno, ya sabemos que estás muy involucrado en el tema del cacao y ya sabemos a quién le ofreces tu cacao de gran calidad. Martin, we also have Darwin here. Ahora voy a tratar de comunicarnos con Darwin. Darwin, who got a gold with his pasilla ahumado de Oaxaca. Tenemos a Darwin Solís. Estamos esperando a Darwin. Bueno, Darwin. Estás en el aeropuerto, Darwin. Darwin, I think is at an airport. That it looks like.
Aquí estoy, ¿me escuchan?
Te escuchamos,
hola, saludos
Darwin.
a todos.
Bienvenido.
Estoy por incorporarme por ahí en este equipo maravilloso.
Bueno, Darwin se incorporó, estaba aterrizando. Estás en Morelia ya, ¿verdad? Se incorporó, pero quiero felicitarte porque si tus barras excelentes, la barra.
Estoy en el aeropuerto ahorita, vamos para Morelia apenas.
Bueno, pero muy bien que te tenemos aquí con nosotros, Darwin. So Martin, these are our Mexican winners, that they decided to get together at this beautiful museum, but then Darwin has just landed it's getting ready to land or to take the plane to go to Morelia where he has his shop. So Darwin Solís of Bings Chocolates with 2 very important prizes, 2 premios extraordinarios, un oro por su barra con el pasilla ahumado de Oaxaca, y tenemos aquí esa belleza de grupo, todos premiados, todos alumnos del instituto y realmente gente que están trabajando muy fuerte por México, las puntas de lanza de México.
Okay, so amazing to see you all. I hope to see you soon.
Martin quiere verlos pronto y está muy agradecido de que se hayan reunido esta tarde con nosotros, que han tenido la paciencia de esperar.
No, gracias, thank you so much.
Pero no se vayan a ninguna parte, ahora se quedan tranquilos, se sientan, se toman un tequilita mientras nosotros seguimos con la presentación. Y gracias a todos. Gracias a Tabasco por ofrecernos este espacio.
So just going back to our list, because I think that will apply, that we have some winners. I'd just like to play first a clip from Nugali, one of our Brazilian winners.
Hello, I'm Maite, and this is Ivan, and we are from Nugali Chocolates in Brazil. We are very happy that one of our products is among the winners this year.
These are panned cocoa nibs covered with milk chocolate, and it won a bronze in America's competition. And we would like to congratulate the organization of this important award and all the other participants. Thank you.
Thank you.
And very nice munchable nibs. They
do great work.
They do. And but now you can see there under the flavored, we have Hacienda Napana again have a prize there.
Yeah, they do, the confites are like the ganaches, or, and they do it by hand. And I just watched them buy a couple of huge copper cauldrons from, there was this vendor on the road selling stuff from Santa Clara del Cobre, which is the copper capital. And Rafael is the one that starts doing the work, but everybody works because this is labor intensive. So Marta then takes over. Everybody takes over.
And we do have, we just had Darwin of Bins. We do have the interview with you. So let's play some of that. So this is for the gold in the flavored ganaches.
The pichle, the bombón de pichle, which is made with mamey zapote de seed, la semilla del mamey zapote.
Here we go.
Buenas tardes, Darwin. Me complace presentarles a Darwin Solís, un gran chocolatero mexicano trabajando en Morelia, Michoacán, quien ha ganado premios muy importantes en esta edición del 2025 del International Chocolate Awards Américas. Y lo tengo aquí en esta grabación para poder compartirla con todos ustedes en la ceremonia que vamos a tener el martes, honrando a los ganadores de esta increíblemente importante edición del International Chocolate Awards, que es las Américas. Darwin, háblanos un poco de tus chocolates premiados.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muchísimas gracias por el espacio. Estoy muy honrado, me siento muy contento por compartir un poquito de nuestro trabajo. También estoy muy feliz porque nos fue muy bien en esta edición. El año pasado también nos fue bien, pero cada vez hemos logrado mejores premios. Sin duda, la certificación me ha ayudado para encontrar muchas notas más complejas, más interesantes y expresarlas. Y pues bueno, me presento un poquito. Yo soy el chef Darwin Solís. Soy de Morelia, Michoacán, México. Inicié realmente en el tema del chocolate o en el mundo del chocolate hace 12 años, justamente igual que muchos de mis compañeros, incluso de mis alumnos, porque en su momento trabajaba con chocolate belga. Yo pensaba que era lo mejor del mundo, lo que existía, lo que yo estaba trabajando. Conforme más iba investigando, me daba cuenta que aquí en América hay excelentes cacaos. Sé que en México, pero también en otras regiones de Sudamérica encontramos una calidad excepcional. Hace 13 años no había tanta facilidad de encontrar buena calidad de chocolate de América. Y justamente esa fue mi misión desde hace 7 años, tratar de yo hacer mi propio chocolate para mi confitería, bombonería, trufas y demás. Tengo una chocolatería desde hace 13 años y también he incursionado en el tema de los cursos, ya que creo que es importante que podamos rescatar el cacao de México, el cacao de origen en general, y poder hacer igualmente una chocolatería como lo que hago, que es bombonería y todo este tipo de productos, pero con una calidad de chocolate excepcional. Realmente yo entendí que decir que era chocolate belga no era diferenciador. porque la mayoría de mis compañeros era lo mismo que utilizaban, era el mismo tipo de chocolate. Y una vez que empecé a trabajar con cacao mexicano, vi que hay notas interesantes que no las veía reflejadas en este chocolate que yo utilizaba anteriormente. Entonces, justamente esa es mi misión hoy en día, tener una escuela donde yo comparto esta experiencia. Seguimos en un proceso de aprendizaje. Tenía muchas dudas en abrir la escuela porque la verdad es que me siento todavía muy novato en este mundo, pero creo que hay que compartir este mensaje, hay que compartir todo lo que podemos llegar a lograr. Y más en este momento que es de déficit para el cacao a nivel mundial. Sufrimos por varias problemáticas y creo que es un muy buen momento para empezar a tener estos trabajos y reflexionar un poquito acerca de todo esto. Entonces, bueno, hablando ya ahora sí propiamente de los premios que hemos ganado, esta edición nos fue bastante bien, ya que hemos logrado varios premios justamente con la integración de ingredientes locales de aquí de México. Por ejemplo, el pixle y el chile pasilla mije. El chile pasilla mije es un chile autóctono de la región de Oaxaca. Es muy especial este chile porque lleva un proceso muy tradicional para poder tostarlo y darle ese,
El
perdón, más
ahumado,
bien para
han
ahumarlo.
ahumado sobre un fuego de roble y hay muchas
Exacto.
cosas secretas sobre ese chile. Inclusive es muy
Sí,
difícil de conseguirlo porque a veces se confunde con el pasilla de Oaxaca. Este es el
exacto,
pasilla ahumado mije de
exacto.
Oaxaca.
Sí, entonces, de hecho, este chile es bastante tradicional en la gastronomía de Oaxaca, de la sierra. Erróneamente yo, a los productores del pasilla les decía, yo quiero un chile más ahumado para poder tener más expresión, pero me dijeron, no, es que el proceso tradicional es como debe de ser, y si yo lo hago más o menos, ya no es tradicional. Entonces, buscamos adaptarnos.
Yo pienso que te dieron un buen consejo porque
Exactamente.
lo que yo admiro.
So I think that's another one. Will be great to catch up on later
Yes,
when we can
because
post it.
he had a lot of interesting things to say, and you can see it in YouTube at length because we had a long conversation. But he says one of the things that I want to point out when you're working with chiles, especially smoked chiles like this chile mije, he wanted the farmers to do a smokier version, and they said no. I mean, the traditional one is this. If he had done it, he would have destroyed the chocolate because I mean he was using cacao from Hacienda Napaná, and so he was basically trying to get balance and harmony here. If he had done something different with the chile, he would not have accomplished that kind of sort of seamless bar that we so admire.
No, I agree. So let's go on next category because we do have another interview to show. And we should also mention Colors Chocolate
goodness,
here,
yes.
who I did see, I think, in the chat somewhere, but we didn't manage to catch up with them yet. But
So we don't have a video from them because they do have an incredible operation. In the
yes, so
north of
I'm sure we
the
can catch
Dominican
up some of it with
Republic.
them. No, that was a particularly nice. It's very hard to do a clean origin ganache. I think so many people make ganaches, maybe the chocolate is secondary, but when you make the chocolate the star, you've really got to do it very well. So not so many entries in this category, and it's hard to get that kind of score. So that's really a very good job.
I think we should get a video and post it in YouTube.
No, definitely. So moving on to flavored dark chocolate ganaches, then we've got one star there, and we do have an interview to play some of here from Maricel.
Hola, buenas tardes. Tengo el
Hola,
gran
¿qué tal?
placer de entrevistar a Oscar Rodolfo Hernández Jiménez, más conocido por todos los que te queremos como Rodo. Hola, Rodo.
Hola, ¿qué tal, doctora Maricel? Qué gusto, para mí es un gusto poder estar en esta entrevista
Estoy muy contento porque el tener este contacto directo con usted me hace sentir en familia. Cuando la veo siempre en México me recuerda a todas esas capacitaciones que nos ha dado, contándonos sobre el cacao, los orígenes y a veces cambiando un poquito toda la percepción que tenemos sobre el cacao, las variedades, los orígenes y el chocolate. Muchas gracias por invitarme.
Bueno, ese es el propósito, Rodo, y me encanta verte en tu taller.
Gracias, aquí estoy.
Con tu logo, ya veo el ambiente, algo muy bonito, tan bonito como tus bombones. Y este es el
Gracias.
momento de que te presentes y nos hables un poquito de tu trayectoria en la bombonería, porque en este momento tú te has convertido en un bombonero del grano al bombón, pasando por la elaboración del chocolate. Yo sé que ha sido un proceso complejo para ti, pero en este momento tú representas un tema que el mexicano debe entender
Conocer
y conocer,
y entender.
porque normalmente el bombonero compra una cobertura X y con esa cobertura hace bombones muy bonitos, quizás estén muy lindamente decorados y tal, pero el énfasis no es en el cacao,
Claro,
ni siquiera en los ingredientes que se usan para saborizarlos, sino
claro,
en cómo luce, la estética del bombón. Tus bombones no solamente son hermosos, porque son obras de arte, pero en cada bocado está la historia de México, está la historia de Chiapas contada por buen cacao, por buen chocolate y también por saborizantes que representan las cocinas ancestrales de tu región.
claro.
Háblanos un poquito de, bueno, un poquito, realmente quisiera tener horas para conversar contigo.
Gracias,
Pero
gracias.
quiero que nos cuentes un poco, empezando por los bombones que han sido premiados.
So I'm just going to cut that one short because I think it'd be very fascinating, but that's a 20-minute piece, and as time is going on, but I definitely will get that subtitled and translated.
And we'll put it in, and we'll definitely put it in YouTube. But he gave me, there was an incredibly rich interview talking about his own trajectory from selling stuff, at local fairs to have his own workshop. But also, he's now essentially a chocolate maker. For the winning bonbon, he was using cacao from Hacienda Napana. But at first, he started buying the chocolate from them, la pasta. But now he's actually buying the beans, but he's making his own chocolate. So that's the path. I think that more Mexicans, more people in cacao growing countries should do that. Start making their own chocolate to use in their bonbons, in their confections.
Definitely. And moving on, we have some white chocolate bars. We have some interesting winners there. And going on to milk chocolate with inclusions or pieces. Some nice Brazilian entries here. And we have definite, and we have colors again from Dominican Republic. And I think, Maricel, we could, because we're running a bit short of time, but we could play a clip from your Feliu interview now.
Yeah, we should definitely.
Give people a taste of
Feliu, it's the maker from Guadalajara that has won very big in several of our competitions. Started way back in our Support to Cacao Country competition. Hola, buenas tardes. Tengo el gusto de presentarles al equipo de Feliu Chocolates. Están en Guadalajara. El equipo está compuesto por Víctor Feliu Marín, nacido en Valencia, pero ahora en Guadalajara por pasión, y Sergio. Sergio, por favor, preséntate con tu nombre y apellido, como corresponde.
Bueno, mi nombre es Sergio de Jesús Calva, soy veracruzano y soy doctor en innovación biotecnológica y actualmente socio de Víctor Feliu.
Bueno, me parece una combinación espectacular, Valencia y Veracruz. Por supuesto, la parte española en Veracruz es innegable. O sea que creo que aquí hay una armonía en esta pareja de artesanos del chocolate mexicano que están haciendo historia. Y esta entrevista tenía que haberla hecho hace varios años, porque tu empresa ha creado historia, ha sido punta de lanza en México. Acuérdate cuando en Guatemala, cuando dimos los premios del concurso de apoyo a país productor de cacao, fue la competencia de Centroamérica, que yo dije, cuidado con los aztecas. Por supuesto, en aquel momento yo no sabía que había un valenciano en ese asunto, pero bueno, cuidado con los aztecas ha probado ser un lema importante, porque México para mí era un gigante dormido. Y México en muy poco tiempo se ha despertado, contribuyendo enormemente a nuestros concursos. En el International Chocolate Awards Americas hemos tenido muchos de tus chocolates que han ganado premios muy importantes. Y esta no es la excepción. En el 2025 tienes dos barras hermosísimas, una de leche y café, no café con leche, leche y café, y luego otra de soconusco al 70%. Las dos barras creo que están hechas con el mismo tipo de cacao. Por favor, Víctor, explícame, ¿de dónde viene el cacao que utilizaste este año?
El cacao, este año y todo, siempre ha
Y
sido
todos
una
los años, ese es el
Sí,
secreto.
es una mezcla de cacaos del Soconusco. Es una mezcla porque utilizamos varios productores, varias comunidades, pero tiene un sabor característico que más o menos hemos conseguido reproducir a lo largo de los años.
¿Cuál es ese sabor característico?
Generalmente destaca mucho el fruto rojo, es como muy particular del Soconusco, notas almendradas, a veces un poquito de uva pasa, ciruela pasa, depende del año y más o menos acidez, pero siempre, sobre todo, los frutos rojos es como lo más
Bueno, esta
particular.
mezcla se ha destacado y ha recibido importantes premios. Y también en el leche y café hay un ingrediente muy especial que
So that's another one you'll be able to enjoy fully
Yeah, and
online.
I just have, as a colophon, I mean, this is, a big winning bar, but there is a combination here that I like to explain. It's the coffee. And it's coffee from Veracruz, from Centla. And it's just a very harmonious combination of flavors. They do a great job. And when they use vanilla from Papantla, well, that's extraordinary too. So I invite all of you to watch the entire video that takes, a few more minutes in YouTube.
Okay, and moving on to dark bars, chocolate bars, inclusions or pieces, we have a few interesting things here, and I want to play you. We had some nice clips from people, which just the way the prizes worked out, we didn't get to yet, but let's play a few of those now. So we have BIOS.
Hola, soy David Olgieser de Chocolates Bios. Somos una empresa que tiene 113 años de historia. Yo represento a la cuarta generación de chocolateros. Estamos muy orgullosos de ser una fábrica 100% ecuatoriana y además trabajamos con el mejor cacao del mundo, el cacao de fino aroma ecuatoriano. En BIOS combinamos la tradición con la tecnología, siempre manteniendo procesos artesanales y usando solo ingredientes naturales. En nuestras barras, como la barra de mandarina, utilizamos el proceso de liofilizado, lo que nos permite preservar completamente su sabor natural. Pero la parte más importante de BIOS son nuestras personas. Más del 80% de nuestro equipo son madres solteras, una tradición iniciada por mi abuela para apoyar a las mujeres de nuestra comunidad. Ellas, junto con todo nuestro equipo, hacen posible que el cacao ecuatoriano se transforme en el chocolate de clase mundial. Y hoy nos sentimos profundamente honrados de recibir estos reconocimientos. Este logro no habría sido posible sin la dedicación de tantas personas que día a día ponen su pasión en este trabajo, permitiéndonos compartir con el mundo el orgullo de ser ecuatorianos.
Hi everyone, this is Carla Barbotoa and Santiago Peralta, founders of Pacari Chocolate here in Quito, Ecuador. This is the Pichincha Volcano. We are more than happy to be in the International Chocolate Awards. It has been a huge push for us always. We're very proud. And first of all, we want to thank all the organizers, Maricel, Martin, all the team, and of course, all the people which is inside this award, because we really believe on the people which is making quality like you all.
Yes, and we wanted to present one that we have in the International Chocolate Awards, which is the 90% raw, and this is the latest one in our raw line. It's
the latest on.
It's the latest on
of the family. And also we want to share this dark shark, which is cacao from Galapagos, very special, amazing area in the world, unique place, of course, of your world. More than welcome if you can come. First time in history, chocolate from Galapagos Islands. So I hope you enjoy. And thanks again for all of you. And thank you all the team from the International Chocolate Awards. Best regards.
Venezuela, cuna del cacao criollo, de la mayor diversidad y de los cacaos más sabrosos. Desde el 2021 estamos transformando historias en barras. Somos Delirio Chocolate, una chocolatería artesanal ubicada en la isla de Margarita. Y elaboramos chocolates con granos de cacao de diferentes regiones de Venezuela con la firme intención de resaltar nuestro sabor de origen. Para nosotros Vintubar significa homenaje a nuestros ancestros, a nuestros cacaocultores, nuestra tierra. Y es por ello que cuidamos cada paso, desde la selección del grano, pasando por el tostado, el descascarillado, refinado, temperado y empaquetado. Nos enfocamos en crear barras que resaltan lo nuestro y armonizan con nuestro manjar de Dios. Nuestro propósito es resaltar no solo el cacao, sino nuestros productos locales y nacionales. Si tuvieras que describir en una palabra, ¿qué significa para ti el cacao venezolano? ¿Qué dirías? Identidad. Arraigo.
Cultura.
¿Qué significa para ti ganar los International Chocolate Awards, entendiendo que es la competencia de chocolates artesanales más grande del mundo? Para mí es una historia que se reescribe.
Orgullo nacional.
El comienzo de un legado.
En Delirio somos una familia. Gracias por ser parte de nuestra historia. ¡Que viva nuestro cacao! ¡Que viva Venezuela!
Well, that was lovely.
And I have to say that orange bar is really good, no?
Well, you know, here is almost totally passionate about cacao and chocolate. She comes from a family of cacao farmers in Venezuela, and I'm very proud of her. She's level 3. She's a level 3 student of the institute, and we were able to taste, you know, several of her bars, and you know, her desire for learning and improving and growing. This is what I see. You know, she thinks about the future. You know, whatever, everything she does is about a better future, preparing herself for the future. I'm almost, you know, I was touched because obviously, you know, so much of my life in cacao has to do with Venezuela, where I worked for several years, and to see that there is a glimmer of hope in these young people.
No, exactly. It's a new generation doing something.
New generation, yes.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. Okay, so moving on, because we realize it's getting late. For me, anyway, it is. So dark chocolate bars with an infusion or flavoring. So we have a few interesting prizes there. I'd like to mention Licklemore chocolate from Jamaica, with that very nice fresh ginger product.
And Itika from Haiti.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, and there is one here that it's very special. You know, we already talked about the Chile Pasilla Mije, which is the gold, but it's a silver. There is a silver here, Mayac chocolate from Honduras, and this is Mariano Garcia, who owns Mayac, and they are in Roatan, one of the beautiful Bay Islands in Honduras, and he's very interested in sourcing excellent cacao, and he goes to the limits to source good cacao, but also he's playing with local ingredients. Last year he did a cassava bar, this is the yuca bread, and he did an extraordinary job. And this year he's using something called gifiti. So this is an infused beverage that has medicinal purposes, but it includes dozens of ingredients and spices and barks from different trees. And this is something that is very much a part of Garifuna life. The Garifunas are is a combination of Carib native people and Africans who were shipwrecked on a Caribbean island, and they ended up along the coast of Central America, but particularly Honduras, places like Tela, Ensenada, and the Bay Islands. So he befriended this woman, Carla Leiva, who's a Garifuna leader, and she made the gifiti drink that he infused. He infused the nips with the gifiti. So this is quite an undertaking, and something that I really want to.
Very interesting. And moving on to plain bars now. So in the plain origin white chocolate bars, we have Chocopunto in Dominican Republic, some good Brazilian winners there, Chocolate, and Delirio again for that really very nice, well-rounded, kind of classic but very clean white chocolate from Delirio. And then under alternative ingredients, some interesting winners there. Eden Reserve with the honey, sugar, and then crud. And we do have a few things to play from crud.
En Crud Cacao elaboramos chocolates con cacao crudo, respetando su esencia y manteniendo vivas todas sus propiedades naturales. Cada tableta nace del trabajo directo con nuestros proveedores, usando únicamente ingredientes locales y cuidando cada proceso de manera artesanal. Es un honor ser reconocidos en los International Chocolate Awards 2025 por nuestra línea Herbolaria Maya, donde nuestro chocolate de flor de manita fue premiado por sus ingredientes y su fermentación.
Quiero agradecer al International Chocolate Award por habernos dado la oportunidad y por habernos galardonado. Detrás de todo esto está una inspiración como mexicano de recuperar el origen del uso del cacao de los tiempos precolombinos. Y entonces es en el proceso de fermentación que fui inventando temperaturas, tiempos, tamaños de lote para lograr los sabores que busco y no perder las propiedades funcionales del cacao, que es uno de los objetivos también de Crud, sus propiedades medicinales como lo usaron nuestros antepasados. Se me ocurrió entonces poner la flor de la manita en el cajón de fermentación para que sea la propia naturaleza a través de ese proceso milenario de fermentación, fueran ellos, esos microorganismos, los que decidan qué componentes transmitirle a la semilla del cacao. Se logró algo fantástico. Herbolaria Maya en honor a nuestros antepasados mayas de Mesoamérica. Muchas gracias, International Chocolate Award.
And we do have an interview with Crud, but I think we're timing out on playing that.
I think that he did a very good job in this clip.
Yeah, no, it was
and I
nice,
think that
nice
people
clip. So,
should go to the YouTube to see the entire interview with Arturo Gomez, which is very telling. He tells the story of his former life, as a member of the Ibarra family. This is a very important chocolate making family, and deciding basically to source cacao from the Selva Lacandona to do this enhanced fermentation process using about 9 different ingredients.
No, that's very interesting, and we used a lot of brain power to actually understand what was going on and classify that chocolate correctly. But it is quite innovative and interesting, but tasted good. There was no question of that. But exactly how to classify it was quite complicated, and you can see why it has those different special prizes which reflect that. So moving on to milk chocolate. So we've got again some nice mix of winners from Brazil and Ecuador and Honduras and quite a few different countries. And then in the larger scale, we have one of our classic winners, Cacao Hunters, and I'll play a little bit of the beginning of your interview with Mayumi that definitely needs watching, because Mayumi is someone we love and is character and very passionate about her cacao. So let's play a little bit of that.
Buenas noches, Mayumi.
Buenas noches,
Ya sé
Maricel.
que a pesar de que tienes un día esplendoroso detrás de ti con un bello cacao, sé que es de noche, casi las 11 de la noche. Te agradezco muchísimo que estés con nosotros. Estamos haciendo esta grabación porque queremos compartirla con los otros ganadores del International Chocolate Awards Americas, y quiero felicitarte porque has obtenido 2 premios importantísimos con 2 barras que son deliciosas, una Sierra Nevada al 64% y una barra de tumaco al 53% de leche, que me parece perfecto para ese tipo de cacao. Te he seguido por años, como sabes, viniste de juez al primer concurso del International Chocolate Awards en Londres en el 2012. Cuando te conocí ya tenías una trayectoria comprando cacao en Colombia, que había comenzado en el 2010 con Cacaos de Colombia. Ya habías estado explorando el país. Y luego ya al año siguiente de haberte conocido, te vimos en el Salón du Chocolat en París, y ya tenías un stand y estabas ya vendiendo y presentando tu marca Cacao Hunters. Desde entonces te hemos seguido. Has sido una ganadora recurrente del International Chocolate Awards Americas y del final también. Y vemos en ti un gran ejemplo para Colombia, que es un país con un cacao extraordinario. Es un gigante que está despertando. Y tú has sido instrumental, tu compañía ha sido instrumental en llevar la bondad del cacao colombiano, su diversidad genética, al mundo. Mayumi, quisiera que me hablaras un poquito de tu trayectoria y también que específicamente me hablaras de estos 2 chocolates ganadores del Sierra Nevada y del Tumaco Leche.
Ok. Bueno, yo estoy trabajando con el tema de cacao y chocolate desde 1997. Primero, durante 7 años, yo estaba trabajando en la empresa de chocolate en Japón para cargar la parte de investigación y desarrollo. Después viajaba a 15 países que producen cacao para conocer más cacao o la base de chocolate, productores, varias cositas. ¿Sí? Y yo aprendí mucho sobre diversidad de genética de cacao también, porque época que yo empecé a trabajar con cacao, mucha gente estaba hablando, origen de cacao es de México, cacao criollo, tiene tal forma, tal sabor, el color de coco tiene pero después de 2010 ya salió más información de genética, con mi experiencia encontré varias cosas distintas. Y yo llegué a Colombia en 2009. Cuando yo llegué a Colombia me sorprendí muchísimo porque había muchísima diversidad de cacao y mucho potencial de cacao. Pero como Maricel dijo, cuando yo participé en concurso de cacao en Londres, alguna gente estaba hablando, Mayumi tú viniste de Colombia, pero yo no conozco tanto cacao colombiano con buena calidad.
So we'll just cut that off for now, but it's worth listening to Mayumi's
It certainly
story
is,
and journey.
And she talks about something that it's very dear to me, which is talking to cacao.
Yeah, no, she has,
you know, and her own epiphany.
Total involvement.
Total involvement, and the epiphany, like the cacao that is in the background, is something that changed her life. She says it's a type of criollo that she found in the Sierra Nevada area among her huacos.
Yes. So definitely worth watching that one. And just moving on now to high percentage bars. And as Adrienne said, that's been, a real eye opener increasingly in all the competitions, we're getting better and better high percentage bars. And I will play you now. I do have an interview with Argan Cove, but I don't think we have time for that. But there's a clip you can see from their farm, which I think is worth seeing. And this is for the 92%, which is just enough sugar, I think, to make that Nicaragua work.
Something is happening with the audio.
Oh, okay. Let's just oops, just I'll restart that one. I think that's just a setting. Yeah, it's getting a bit late.
Well,
let's try that. Let's try that again.
Okay, let's see. If not, I can definitely narrate. Oh, there she is.
With Argan Cove Chocolate in Granada, Nicaragua, Central America. I'm here today in our cacao orchard, which is just about 10 minutes from our chocolate factory in Granada. Firstly, today I want to say thank you very much to the International Chocolate Awards, each year giving this amazing recognition to so many makers and producers. For this year, it's quite special for two reasons. One is that we have won a gold again for our 92% bar. This bar took about 2 years in the making for different trials, trialing different beans. I mean, as many of you makers know, it's always a work in progress. But being a high percentage bar in particular, this one holds a very special place for us. So thank you very much for the gold for this bar. It's also quite special, this award event, because with the awards that we won this year with International Chocolate Awards, we have now in the last 6 years won over more than 100 international awards. So that's something we're super excited about. We're very proud of, and it's amazing to talk to everyone here in the orchard and in the chocolate factory, just about every detail that it all matters. So very excited, looking forward to the next 100 awards. Thank you for all the supporters, and thank you International Chocolate Awards.
Well, Sally is not only gracious, but it's also she's a very hardworking woman.
Yes.
I've been to her farm, which is in a non-traditional cacao growing area of Nicaragua, right next to the Mombacho volcano. She has triplets. Everybody works and cooperates. And the shop in the city of Granada, it's fantastic. It's in a colonial house where she has trained local women to work with her. So everything is, tree to bar, totally integrated. I mean, this woman on horseback inspecting the farm.
Which you can see, even we saw that in the 92, but some of the other bars, different percentage and special batches also did well there.
It's all hands-on.
And on looking at microbatch plain origin, we also have again there for Delirio for the Barlovento 65. That's a really nice balanced bar, just working well at that percentage as well. And
actually everything here, it's like Atucun, for example, in Honduras. And I know a friend, so works in a family plot high in the mountains to get this cacao. Again, Hacienda Napaná. We have Silvia Guedes from Leveles, and sourcing from Comalcalco, which is 20 minutes from where her shop is. So everything is very integrated.
And actually, you reminded me, we do have a nice clip from Leveles, which we maybe haven't played. So let's play that now.
All right.
Hola, soy Silvia Guedes, chocolatera y creadora de Level Chocolate. Nosotros estamos en Villahermosa, Tabasco, en México. Trabajamos con 6 orígenes distintos de cacao que van desde la sierra de Tabasco hasta la costa, cada uno con un perfil distinto, diferente, una personalidad única. Estamos sumamente agradecidos por los premios que recibimos en los International Chocolate Awards, primeramente para nuestra colección de barras frutales, cacao de una comunidad que se llama Nuevo Nicapa, una comunidad que cultiva plátano y cacao el cacao súper dulcito, frutal, y fue la base perfecta para estas barras de frutas mexicanas. Mango dulce de Oaxaca, maracuyá de Veracruz y frambuesa de Puebla y Michoacán. Y por último, una medalla para nuestra nueva barra que aún no sale al mercado, que es el 82% Costa de Comalcalco, un perfil distinto, es una zona que queda cerca del Golfo de México, entonces el perfil es intenso, diferente, y estamos muy contentos, una barra que aún no sale al mercado y pues ya recibió una medalla. Un abrazo para toda la gente de los International Chocolate Awards por promover la excelencia en los chocolateros, y mil felicidades a todos nuestros colegas de diferentes partes de América y el Caribe. Un abrazo para todos desde Tabasco, México.
And we have a couple of other clips just to get these in. Chocopunto, who we know well.
Another Venezuelan.
Hola, soy Mabel Rodríguez, gerente de Chocopunto by Mabel. Quiero decirle que para nosotros es un privilegio pues obtener un premio para nuestra barra de chocolate 35%. Para nosotros es importante este premio. ¿Por qué? Porque tratamos de hacer las cosas bien, tratamos de que cada chocolate cuente una historia sobre nosotros. Entonces, hacer esta barra de chocolate para nosotros fue algo muy especial, porque está hecha con cariño, los materiales están totalmente, o los productos están totalmente seleccionados, y en realidad está hecho con pasión porque llegar a ustedes y darles a probar este chocolate, pues es lo que a nosotros nos llena de orgullo y nos compromete a hacer las cosas bien. Y esta premiación pues añade un valor a nuestra marca, a nuestro Chocopunto by Mabel y al cacao dominicano sobre todo, dejando énfasis de que el cacao dominicano pues está entre los primeros cacao del mundo.
And I have one more from Mendoa.
Olá, nós somos a Eldora Chocolates, uma empresa do sul da Bahia, uma empresa que tem todo o domínio da sua cadeia produtiva, ou seja, nós somos uma marca Bar. O nosso cacau, ele é fornecido dentro dessa condição aqui natural. Então, o nosso chocolate, ele é produzido em meio à cabruca, respeitando toda a fauna e flora local. Vencemos com o nosso chocolate 50% ao leite, que se faz presente em grandes parceiros, né? E ganhamos essa etapa com a medalha de prata. Estamos muito orgulhosos e felizes pelo reconhecimento. Essa é uma resposta a toda a dedicação que é implementada dentro do processo produtivo, de campo e de fábrica, e ser reconhecido com a medalha que nos coloca dentro de uma condição de um dos melhores chocolates do mundo, nos deixa extremamente lisonjeados. Ganhamos, né? Vencemos essa primeira etapa e que agora vem o Mundial, porque temos a certeza de que vamos vencer.
Oh, I love how they speak.
And that was a nice silver
Yes.
prize for the milk chocolate there. And so just moving on, this is the last category. Larger scale plain origin dark chocolate bars. We already see we have the interview from Mayumi of Cacao Hunters, which you can check out. And really just to finish off.
Can I say something about the gold? So Mayumi explained to me that the Sierra Nevada, it's a blend of different cacaos from the coastal area, the Sierra Nevada, and high up where the Arhuacos are. So it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And so really we finish off with the overall prizes. Chocolate and chocolate makers we already talked about, and you've seen some interview from them, from Bins and Delirio and from Crud. So definitely recommend that you watch the remainder of those. So that's almost it. So Maricel, that sort of parting words on, it's been an experience that we've had this format, which we've always have more to talk about in chocolate
Well,
than there's time for.
we're always creating in a way trouble for ourselves. But this time it was not on purpose. We wanted the Americas entrants to have an opportunity to send their products early to the world final. And so this idea, which is kind of taxing for us, because we have to do all these interviews that are too long and we cannot fit them in 5 minutes. I think it creates a platform for the for the entrance. So this is an entrance ceremony, really, because people can go back to this at leisure, to see it again, and they can actually, listen to these videos, see these videos at their own time, to go back to this. And I guess, that in the future, if we ever do this format again,
well, I'm sure we'll do, I'm sure we'll do it in some way. I want to put in a final word from one of our jury again, from our judges, because I missed that. I was saving it.
Hi, I'm Christy Conte. I'm in beautiful Prince Edward County, Ontario, Canada, and I've been an ICA judge for the past 3 years. I've judged Canada, the Americas competition, Peru, Asia Pacific, and the World Finals, and was honored this year to be asked to sit on the grand jury. I would like to give a shout out to Cantu and their beautiful Morapon bar. I think this is an example of what can be done with craft chocolate, and particularly the journey that you can take as a taster. Started off with beautiful cherry and plum skin notes, followed by this maltiness, which I really enjoyed, and finished off with this aromatic, true natural cocoa flavor with a really nice, gentle acidity. So well done, Cantu. I love this bar. I can't get enough. Thank you very much. Keep it up.
So this is a very fortuitous clip, because she's talking about Cantu, and in a way, Cantu bridges two worlds. It's the two worlds that we're featuring, is U.S. and Canada, and the Caribbean and Latin America. So it shows how integrated our worlds really are, and how we depend on each other. So this is a perfect way of culminating this exercise.
And I think that there's another big thing there, is just the emphasis on what really matters with this is, what does it do for you? What is the taste? What is your personal experience when you are moved by tasting a chocolate? This is why we're here. I think sometimes it's too easy to get caught up in the subject, which is very interesting, but really when it comes down to it, cacao and chocolate are both very fascinating, but the whole point of this is, do you have a product that you enjoy, that you like to taste? And then you can have all the story, intellectual, all the emotional things as well, but is this something that you like to eat?
And that resonates with you.
Expression, yes.
And marking,
exactly.
I have to say that just putting together videos and trying to get the entrance voices here, I learned a lot about that connection. And in my experience now, listening to all of these people talk about what they produce, is you see this intimacy, this connection. People speaking,
people do it from love,
understanding it.
Exactly. You must do it from love. I mean, we all know, I think all the winners and all the entrants know that chocolate is not easy, or cacao. And it's not so easy, unless you want to do bad chocolate in a big commercial business, it's not so easy to do something good. But you must love it. You must have a passion for it. If you don't have that, it's just not going to work. And we can see that reflected in the winners are people who are passionate about what they do. You cannot separate that one from the other. So that's about it. Thank you, Maricel. There's more content which we will clean up and put out, and subtitle and things that you'll be able to see on the channel soon. And for all the winners, and also for anyone who loves chocolate, the World Final is coming up pretty soon and will be announced on November the 8th.
Exactly. Y aquí aprovecho para hablarles en español y darles un mensaje de que se preparen para la mundial. Y les agradezco la paciencia de haber esperado a esta porción de los premios sobre Latinoamérica y el Caribe. Y realmente me siento muy orgullosa de todos ustedes. Están celebrando la riqueza biológica, cultural de sus regiones y nos están enorgulleciendo a todos. Muchísimas gracias.
And just to say, all of you, any winners listening here, you're sending to Erin in Texas. That's where your samples have to go, and really make sure you can be surprised. We've no idea what the new tax rules in the US will do. So please do follow the customs advice correctly. It's boring, but we want to taste your chocolate in the best condition. So it's also very important. So
well, thank you, Martin, too. Thank you, because the work that goes into any of this is tremendous.
Yes,
and I think it's past midnight for you, right?
No, yes, it is
quite.
now. Yes,
it is.
You're right, it is now.
Be careful when you turn into a cacao pod.
No, exactly. So, well, I'll sleep in my potty tonight. So
me too.
So thank you to the team, for everyone. Thank you for your patience and for listening. And you can get more of this content on the channel. And we hope to see you again and do more things like this. So enjoy good chocolate and be ready for the World Final.
Felicitaciones a todos. Nos vemos en el final.
So thank you, everyone. Good night, good day. Enjoy. Thank you.